Hi.
Hello, and I believe we are live, if I am not mistaken.
I believe we are. Hello, everybody. Welcome.
We have some little ones on the show. We have a nice group of in the chat already, which is great. Rich buddy, welcome. Hello, little guys.
Hi there,
Hey, guys.
Flippin' Zippo. Are you well?
I'm good.
Welcome, everyone.
How are you doing, Thomas?
Yeah, I'm not so bad. Good to see you. Clam Walker, Rajiv Mirage, Adam Scalingi. Sorry about that, butchering your name there. Paul M, Orange Hand. Yeah, everyone in the chat. Just Horology, EPRFA, Junie Johnson as always, Matt Max, Danger Will Robinson. Great to see you all, guys. Yeah, Chip Gage. All the punters, Geezer, HBA, wow, loads of you all lined up. Renee Wells.
That's awesome. Good.
Yeah, great to see you
Good
all.
to see you all, you guys. As I'm
Great
starting
to
off
see
on
you
my
doing.
phone, I can't see the chat, but hello, everybody.
And we got Blue Shirt with us. We got NS something as always. Great to see you. And we got Rich Buddy joining us. Hi, Rich.
Hey, Rich.
Hello. Hi.
How are you doing?
So, shall we? Yeah, there's new faces in here. Hello, everybody who's new. Great to see everybody here. GMT Master, hello, sir.
Exactly.
And so, how's about you guys want to show some stuff off?
Yeah, I wanted to start off with some watches we'd received this week, which are some beautiful watches from the Aragon range. I'll just flip my camera around. I should be used to this by now. Yeah, the Aragon Caprice range. Now this one, I've got the Desert Sand dial color. These are pilot's watches. So the Aragon Caprice range is 48 millimeter. It's using a NH35 movement, Seiko NH35, and it's beautiful. It's on this rubber strap at the moment with a like a sort of synthetic material outer stitched to it. There's rubber on the inside. I've got this Desert Sand dialed one on, which is I've been wearing it all weekend. It's brilliant. It's absolutely beautiful. Really lightweight, nice size, extremely legible. It's got the date in 2 languages, and I've also got this space grey dial coloured one, which is absolutely gorgeous. You might not make that out a bit more. It's got like an inner dial and an outer dial to it. It's slightly different textures to them. It's absolutely gorgeous again, and you can see it's got a lovely little. You might not be able to make that out, but it's got a little plane on the rotor.
Yeah,
to make it out as an aviation watch, which I thought was a really nice touch. Make it out as a pilot's watch. So this is a pilot's range, and yeah, absolutely beautiful watches. And also another, if I don't know whether Blue Show wants to show his as well. He's got one, I know, in another color.
Hey, guys. Sorry about that. I lost Thomas's audio all of a sudden, so I couldn't hear him. So I popped out and came back in. So yes,
we'll
I got the
jump gears and then go back to Thomas's second one.
Okay. I got the same watch that Thomas got, the Caprice Pilot, except of course, for me, the blue dial. So it's just very nice. Love the contrast blue stitching in the rubber strap. Nice, healthy size, thick rubber strap. Very comfortable. super legible. It's the NH36 movement, so you got day date, and it's a real pilot size watch, 48 mils, but very comfortable.
Nice. That is very legible.
Yeah, and let me tell you, this thing glows like a son of a gun at night. You
Yeah.
charge
Beautiful
this up,
watches.
the lume
Really,
is
really nice and lightweight.
Yep, exactly. And still 200 meters water resistant.
Not too heavy. Nice and lightweight. They're like a DLC coated.
I just love the blue, love the pattern on the inner dial. Just really, what a fantastic watch. Great summer watch. An outstanding lume and legibility.
How thick is that?
Do you have the thickness on it, Thomas? I know it's 48.
It's got some.
The thickness. I wasn't trying that. I think it's about 15, maybe about 16 millimeters, 15 millimeters, maybe.
Okay. It's not terrible, guys. Let me tell you. It's not
I
terrible.
love the look of that.
Yeah,
Really
it's
do.
just very cool.
Good grip on the crown, I take it.
Yeah, excellent grip on the crown. Has a nice pop to it when you open it up. First position is hand wind. Second position is you can adjust the day and the date, and then the third position hacks the movement.
Oh, we have an answer. 15 mil.
15 mil. There you go.
Excellent. Thank you,
Thank
Renee.
you. Thank you, Renee.
15 millimeters. Thank you, Renee. 15 millimeters.
Good to know.
Okay.
All right. And Thomas, do you have another?
Yes, I've got another watch just to show you. I'm just
Okay. I'm gonna hop off and get on my computer.
So the next one is a really interesting watch to show. Now this one's a really special one. Yeah, I'll just bring my camera back. This one's a gorgeous one. This is from Ingersoll. Now I just want to show you the box, the presentation box, because this is something special. This is really a beautiful box that it came in. This wooden box here.
Dovetail wood?
And yeah, dovetail wooden box. I mean, it came inside this case beforehand, saying Robert Ingersoll, the true original. So that came over the box, and then inside this dovetail wooden box, I've taken the watch off the case, but there's a lovely booklet with it. If I can get that out. Oops. So there's a card, a lovely Ingersoll card.
That is not
card. Authenticity card.
Nice.
And then there's this booklet, if I can just get that out as well. It's quite securely hidden in the box. A lovely manual with it. But this watch is absolutely gorgeous. This is you might recognize this from the Zenith pilot's watch style.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a pilot's watch, and it's on a Horween leather strap.
Oh.
I'll just put this on, this one. Yeah, so a vintage look with modern measurements, founded in New York in 1892. Ingersoll has a way with vintage American watches. The lyndon, which is an automatic watch, emphasizes both ability and style. This 4-meter beast shows Arabic numerals and a catching onion crown. The case has a rustic, distressed look that helps minimize nicks and scratches. On top of that, it's water resistant to 100 meters. And in case you spill or need to take it for a quick dip, it's available in 4 styles, and the lyndon comes in a choice of Horween leather band or nylon strap. And it's on the website at the moment. It's just been released. Website at the moment for £400. It was on the website for, but they're actually doing a launch price of £200. And it's matic. And just look at that on the wrist. I mean, that I thought was stunning with the onion crown.
That is
chuffed to bits with this one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome, Thomas. That's beautiful.
You know,
The leather band is absolutely gorgeous.
yeah. Horween has about the best leather you can get.
The dial and the numerals, the slightly raised up numerals, are really nice. They give it a real niche style. It's the hands. It's got a nice cathedral hand set, and it's, as you can see, the second hand sweeping away, and it's Ingersoll radio lights, lyndon radio lights. It is. It's absolutely stunning.
That is beautiful.
Yeah, I absolutely love this one. I went around to parents the other day. My mum's nabbed me and she tried it on. She really liked it. It's a stunning watch.
Junior's
But
asking
I
what
was
size
just
is it, Thomas?
But just the whole package is just stunning, I thought, with this gorgeous box that you get it in, and they really made an effort. Really stunning it.
It does look like
It's a really nice package. Beautiful.
Nice find.
Looks like what? Sorry.
A sort of cigar box.
And then I was just going to do my book recommendation for the week.
Right.
And I know we need to please the Rolex fan base, so go book on Rolex.
Rolex.
So this is a nice book. It's by Aldo Patrisi and Mario Capelletti. And it's part of the ACC art books. And it's history of icons and record-breaking models. So it takes you. It's not too deep and complex book. It's very accessible, and it takes you through a basic history, and then takes you through all the models, going through the dates. Takes a bit of the history, the icons, the old models, what they used to do, the panerai they worked on, a timeline of different models and the things they've been involved with. Then takes you through the date justs, going through the Explorer in 1953, 1016, the Submariner, GMT Master, Lady Oyster Perpetual, date, Milgauss, the Air King, Daytona, the Lady Dangerous, the Yachtmaster. A lot of really nice pictures, as you can see. And then it takes you through a lot of the record vintage pieces, the prices that they've reached at auction, and the different models of handshaking. Sorry, the different models that they've sold at auction and the prices that they've achieved at auction. Some really interesting pieces there.
That looks like a great book, Thomas.
See, these are going back into the piece that you don't see too often, eh?
The albino. And then a bit about the technology behind the watches with the Parachrome higher springs and the different technology they've used over the years. It's a really, really interesting book. But as I say, nothing too complex, just a sort of dip into Rolex.
A general overview.
Nothing too overboard. But really interesting book, I thought. Book recommendation of the week.
Very nice.
So, and my favorite watch of the week, which isn't a Rolex, Ingersoll. That's my top tip for the week. Ingersoll.
Nice.
I'm gonna just nip back up the stairs and go back on my computer. So
sounds great. So while we're waiting for Thomas to get back, should we get in? Is there any watch news to get into?
Yes, actually, I queued up a few links in the private chat. It's a pretty light news week, but I figured I'd color code the news. So we're going to start with red, then go on to blue, and finish with green.
Nice.
That's just how much news there was this week. All three colors of it. So the first one, I think a lot of people have covered it this week. It's the new special edition Speedmaster Dark Side of the Moon. This special edition is related to a team in the America's Cup yacht race, the sailing race. I know there was a lot of people were upset, thinking, oh, they've just ruined the Dark Side of the Moon. But this is the way they called it, it's a limited production edition. It's just a special edition of it for that team. I don't think it's meant to replace the other editions, but it's a cool watch with a look. It's a Dark Side of the Moon, but with a red theme and a boating theme. So thought it was cool to take a look at. Otherwise, it's nothing special. The movement itself has follows the same like carbon fiber theme. Otherwise, it's a Dark Side of the Moon with this one though with a not a coaxial movement. So nice, interesting watch.
That's ceramic NS.
Yes, it's like all the other
The dark sides.
Yeah, dark side, blue side, gray side. I forget.
Right. There's so many sides.
Yes. Yeah, so I thought cool watch, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the next piece of news, I thought, since we know someone who got a Ulysses Freak X, they did release this week the Bucherer Blue edition. So if some of you have not followed the Bucherer Blue editions, Quite a few watches have
Ooh, that
sort
looks
of
nice. Yeah.
Yep. Quite a few watches have gotten that treatment. Some, Mosers, I forget.
I saw the Tudor.
Wasn't there a Tudor?
Black Bay Blonde.
Yeah,
Tudor
there was
Black
a
Bay Bronze
Tudor.
didn't it? Got the Booker treatment.
Yep. So it's usually nothing special, right? It's like just color accents, but I figured it's actually a very good looking variation on the Freak X.
Mm.
It's a cool watch with the sort of carbon fiber case. So interesting release. And then following the blue theme, although they do have more than one color variation, but Tudor introduced the Royal and the Royal Day Date, which is a new integrated bracelet style Tudor, although it's only for the Asian market so far. My guess is, right, if it becomes very popular, they might release it everywhere. But it's a cool, fun watch, I thought. ETA movement, and around $2,000, I think. Yep. So between 2,000 Swiss franc and 3,750 for the steel and gold.
Mhm.
So pretty decent pricing. Interesting watch. It's got like a turnograph style bezel. You can have it with the day-date complication. Fun piece, I think.
It's got a look of the Vacheron 222, hasn't it?
Yeah, kind of. And also the older, like an oyster quartz or
Yeah.
it's kind of a mix of like old and new.
Interesting how they chose to do an integrated bracelet.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's not everybody's cup of tea.
No, it definitely isn't. But I have to say, if you compare it to the other Tudor watches in that same line, I forget what it is, but it's their more fashion lines.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually looks good and maybe better than some of their other watches. I think it's a fun, cool watch. It's not in-house. It's not like a thick Black Bay. It's, a cool watch priced at sort of entry-level pricing. I think it's fun.
This is 41 millimeters?
There is a 41 and there is actually there's a 41, a 38, a 34, and a 28.
Okay. So they're covering all the bases.
Yeah. It's kind of like a Datejust, right? With lady sizes. And they have, like two-tone. They've got like mother of pearl dials, different types of numerals. They even have the one with diamond indices.
Mm-hmm.
So
So like you said, if this thing sells in Asia, you wouldn't be surprised if they expand the market.
Yeah, look, I can see why this is an Asian market watch, but I don't think any company likes to turn down money.
Sure.
If there's a big demand, I'm sure
it's an interesting bezel for Tudor, isn't it? It's very unconventional for the brand, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think the whole thing is kind of a departure, at least from what's in their lineup right now. The integrated bracelet, although the two-tone is sort of like how their other fashion models are, right? With like a very thin second metal, very thin gold accents on the bracelet. But I think it's an interesting watch.
Yeah.
They cover a lot of bases with this.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Good price. Make a good gift watch, good first watch.
Mm-hmm.
Gift for the wife.
It'll be interesting to see what happens with this.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Now, keeping in the blue theme, Glasuta Original also came out with a CQ, the 39.5 millimeter model with a blue dial and blue bezel. And this new edition does not have the faux patina lume.
But it looks really crisp. That looks gorgeous.
It does. It does. Yeah, because they originally released this size in just the black dial with the Fotina, correct? I think the blue dial was just the larger, the 42.
Yeah,
I think it is.
big date. Yeah, the big date version.
Yeah.
Yep. And unlike some of the other editions that had come out that were special editions with just a strap, no bracelet, this one can come on the bracelet. So it gives you a lot more flexibility. It's a really cool watch. 3 options: bracelet, sailcloth, and cloth. So really interesting watch. I think it's a cool color. I know, especially people who don't like, orange or yellow lume, think that might be the one to get for those people.
Yes, it's really crisp looking.
That's good looking watch.
It is, yeah.
This is a brand I'd like for us to talk to another time.
Sure.
Yeah, definitely. We can focus on Class 2s, definitely.
Yeah.
The original Elanga Zon.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
Correct. So the next watch, we're going to transition into green. And
the new blue.
Yes.
Exactly. Green is the new blue.
Absolutely. So this next watch is, it's nothing special, right? It's kind of a Microbrand. But what's interesting is it has the Kinesi caliber. So basically that's the Tudor Chanel movements. So it's not like a super special watch, but it is the beginning of independence using those Kinesi movements. So it's it's a cool movement to have in your watch. I find it a little bit on the high side of the pricing. It's a great movement, but you can probably get a Tudor at around those prices. But I think it's interesting to see the industry go in that direction, right? And start looking beyond the lower end of those third-party movements, right? So, so I think Kinesi maybe fits in some space between like the Solitas and Soprods of the world and the Vaucher, right? So I think it's a cool watch in that sense. Now, is it like a cool watch overall? I'm not sure. But it's not a bad looking watch. I thought it would be interesting to.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to say we had a very interesting discussion in the Discord about this watch when it first came out and when you first posted it in there. Very interesting that that they're moving to use this movement, and it's a little plain Jane, this watch, and I agree it's a little on the expensive side, but it's just it's very interesting to see them use this movement.
Yeah, it does feel a little bit like the movement is almost the only attraction of that particular watch. But again, I think it's a cool step in an interesting direction.
Right.
Just put it that way. So.
And it's green, which is the new hot thing.
Yeah. Now the next one, I just realized that I should have reversed the next watch in this one, because the next one has some blue and green. So I guess I messed up my transition.
No worries.
Whatever. It was a very light news week. But the next watch, I don't want to spend too much time on the next watch, but an interesting brand obviously is Chrono Swiss, and they've become known sort of as like lower end maker of, even though they make very nice watches, but like mid-tier to lower end makers of certain complications that other makers don't cover a lot. And they do make quite a few different regulators. And this one I thought was, it's cool. It's got a really nice, cool dial with very nice color and a lot of texture and a sort of kind of like, not open heart, but kind of exposed type of dial thing going. So I thought it was a cool watch, and it's got a neat green rotor on the back. Nothing special, but I thought it's a cool watch to take a look at.
Gorgeous dial, that NS. Really is nice.
Yeah, like
there's a lot going on there. So it just reminds me of dragon skin or something, or some lizard skin or something. That dial.
Yeah, very nice texture. As usual, though, as with a lot of Chrono Swiss, it's a little bit, again, on the expensive side, brand new. But usually you can get those on the secondary market for much cheaper. But it is between 88 and 8,900. Sorry, it's 8,800 Swiss francs. So, pretty much around $9,000. It is an ETA base, but it's their usual in-house regulator module on top of that. So, yep.
Yeah, very interesting texture.
Yep. And the last piece of news, it's not really a watch, but it is an MB&F, and I do love MB&F clocks. I know a lot of people don't, but I figured a new one came out, the new T-Rex bronze, and it's got green, and it looks fantastic. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, but I think it's a cool clock.
Yeah, it's pretty funky.
Yep. So if you have, $27,000 to spend on a clock, and as usual, this new one like totally blows all their old ones out of the water. So again, I'll extend my usual offer. If anybody wants to offload their older, now crappy MB&F clocks, I'll give you 10 cents on the dollar.
Send your email address to you.
Yes. Just hit me up on the Discord.
That's like pretty generous of you, NS.
Yes, I'll fall on my sword now.
Good offer.
So that was it for the news. Light news week. I don't think we need to talk about Hodinkee travel clocks or anything like that. So
I was just gonna mention that,
yes.
that we missed on the $4,000 travel clock.
Interesting analogy from Neo about the Chrono Swiss brand. He says Chrono Swiss seems like once they figure out who they want to be, they'll be awesome. They seem like they're teenagers.
Except they've been teenagers for a very long time. But yeah, and like I said, it's an interesting brand that have dabbled in, things like quarter repeaters and all kinds of interesting, sometimes missing the mark complications. But, I think they have a niche. But yeah, not necessarily great to buy brand new at MSRP prices.
Interesting. Wow. So we're hoping that we'd be joined by Clam and Lucian, if possible, at some point. If they want to click on the link any time now.
No, I can. Hopefully they have it saved already.
Can we join for more than 6? I can hop off.
Yeah, I can hop off too.
Yeah, we can get more on.
Okay.
We're good for 10? Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Well, now it works. That's great. Yeah, this is what I've been looking forward to all day.
Yes, absolutely.
You can take more than 6?
Yeah.
We can take more than 6. Yeah, just like to say welcome to ID guys. Just appeared in the chat.
Yes,
Yeah.
welcome, ID guy.
Yep. Hi, D guy, and hi, Rich Buddy. Showcase Watches.
Hey man, how are you?
Okay.
Good, good.
Good to see you guys. All right. Paige and Clam Walker. I'm sure he'll show up, right?
Sure. I'm just gonna copy in a little brand I wanted to show you quickly
Oh, right.
while we're waiting. Oh, here we
Welcome,
go.
Walker.
Lucian, how are you doing?
Good.
Welcome.
Hey, guys.
Good to
Welcome.
see you.
Yeah.
Hey,
How
guys.
you doing, guys?
Hey.
Great
Here.
to see you. Great.
Hi
to see you.
guys. Well, hi guys.
Hey Clem, hi Lucian.
You guys okay?
Hey, James. Hey, Clam. Hey, Lucian. How are you?
We're dressed
Oh.
up in our button up today.
Good to see you, looking very smart. So we heard you were a budding young junior punter, Lucian. We heard you were a budding watch collector.
Mhm.
You're very into your watches. You like watches, yeah?
Oh, yeah. Tell me. Yeah.
You like watches.
You love it. I'm very happy.
Good. That's
Good.
We're
Show
happy
them the
too.
Yes, we're happy you're here.
Here, do
We're
a wrist
very
check.
happy.
Wrist check.
Oh, look at that. What's the Casio World Time, isn't it?
Oh yeah. Custom one off.
Custom one
Nice.
off. Was that the Just Horology custom one off?
That's a mod from Just Horology, David. So
Wow.
thank you very much.
Oh, nice.
Very
David,
cool.
That's brilliant. Look at that. And the Casio calculator watch to go with it.
There you go.
The most comfortable one I have. So
Brilliant.
Awesome.
Well, we knew you a budding little collector, Lucian. So we had a little surprise that we wanted to give you.
Hey, Thomas, everybody wants to say hello real quick. Can you put everybody on so we could see us all real quick, waving hello to him?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Put everybody on real quick. Come to wave hello. Say hello to Lucian.
Do you want to do that, Zippo?
they're gonna say
Everyone-
Oh,
Everyone
watch
screen?
second here, just bouncing around a little bit.
We can see that the kids are here too, you know?
Yeah.
Hi. We're here watching.
awesome.
Give him a wave.
We're all here for you, buddy.
Yeah. Hi everybody.
Yeah. Everyone's saying hi, Lucian. Yeah.
Hello.
So we know you're a budding little collector.
Hi.
See, there's
We know,
Lucian.
we know,
Right there. That's him. Say hello to him.
we know you're a budding collector, and
Hi everybody.
Say hi, Lucian. Say hi, Lucian. All right.
Buddy boys. You got friends in California and all
Yeah.
across the world.
yeah,
Good to see
all around the world.
Good to see so many junior
Yeah.
punters.
Yeah. Hi, Busha.
Hi, Lucian.
He loves blue shirt. Look, if you comment on any of your videos, any of them, he knows them. He knows your name and he minds the comments on all the videos. It's amazing.
Oh,
That's
he's a
awesome.
Blue Shirt fan.
Thank you.
Blue Shirt's got lots of fans. He's famous.
Oh yeah, hardly, but thank you.
Blue Shirt Bud is famous, isn't he?
Everybody talk with me. Yeah, you're talking with everybody right now.
Yeah.
He's always like, everybody like me. Everybody say hi. I'm like,
We
yeah,
all
of
like you,
course.
Lucian. Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, Thomas. Thomas. He loves Thomas.
Yeah. How
I
could you
know.
not
Rich
love
buddies.
Thomas?
Rick's buddy's his number. I think it's his #1 fan.
Yeah.
Everybody loves Rich Buddy.
Right. Yeah. So,
So go ahead, Thomas.
yeah, we know that you're a junior punter and you're a budding watch collector, and all watch collectors need.
Oh,
So we thought we'd donate a watch to your collection. So we had an Aragon Palmer watch that we wanted to donate to your collection. That's the watch, Lucian. You're gonna
Right.
we're giving this to you.
That's a Parma too.
That's
Yeah.
a Parma. Yep. I
He
have
already
one.
knows.
I have one exactly like it, Lucian. So
You'd be just like Blue Shirt now.
you'd be just like me.
Has one too.
What a beautiful watch.
He has been watching videos of the Parma too all day.
Awesome. Awesome.
So
Well-
Lucian, you'd be just like Blue Shirt now. You and Blue Shirt will be buddies, watch buddies.
Yes, we'll be Blue Dial Parma 2 buddies.
Yeah. So we wanted to give you the title of Junior Punter.
That's right. It's official now. Junior punter.
It's official.
Junior Punter.
You're our first junior punter.
Thank you guys.
You're our first junior punter.
Congratulations.
Oh,
Congratulations, Lucian.
okay. He wants to take my seat.
Okay. Fair enough.
Okay.
He's the star. So there you go.
Yeah, congratulations, Lucian.
Yeah, not bad.
What do you think? You gonna enjoy the watch?
Yeah.
That's great.
What do you say?
Oh, you're welcome. You're very, very welcome.
Very welcome, Lucian. It makes us very happy to give it to you.
Yeah. So not only that you and I are going to have the same watch, but Thomas has one that's very similar.
Yeah.
And so does Flippin' Zippo. He's got one that's very similar too. So we're all going to be we're all going to have the same kind of watch.
Yeah, we'll share the same watch.
There we go.
So have you?
Lucian, when you get it, you're going to have to come back on the show and show it off to us.
Yeah, definitely.
Exactly.
Gotta give
And
a watch check.
right, and Flippin' and Thomas and I will
We'll all share ours as well.
we'll all wear ours together on the show. Okay.
What are you
have
adding?
to-
What else have you got in your collection, Lucian? Have you got the Casio calculator watch? Wow.
Oh,
look at
nice.
that. Nice.
Zealot
That's
Mako 3.
Nice.
Bling bling.
He's got the Tissot.
Very
Wow.
nice.
You're a good little collector, aren't you?
He's got the Casios, of course.
Wow.
Of course.
Look at that.
I like the camouflage on that one.
That is cool.
3 of these, different colors.
Oh, awesome. Wow.
You know,
Got a
Lucian,
great,
all
great
about
little
that watch.
collection.
Orient.
Wow. What a collection you've got going now. This
He
is
loves
brilliant.
What I was
wrappers.
talking about the other day, the Platinum Ice Daytona.
Yeah, that's a grail of daddy.
You're a true punter, aren't you?
No, they free fire my
Okay.
clothes.
Okay, I'll shut up. Let you talk.
And,
Yeah.
and Lucian, Renee says she's going to send you a cap as well, an Aragon
Right,
cap.
An Aragon baseball cap. How
Baseball
cool
cap.
is that?
You're
Wow.
getting a cap, a baseball cap as well.
Yeah,
That's so
baseball cap
cool.
as well to wear. I have a watch cap as well now to show
Thank
that
you,
you're a true
Renee.
Say
punter.
thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You got a big collection of Neo. What a punter you are.
That's right.
You are junior punter, baby.
That's not
Yeah.
the Geo doesn't have much production anyway.
You rock, Lucian.
Say thank you guys for your time and your effort.
Yeah, to say he died and say you guys up with me.
Oh, you're welcome.
You're very welcome, Lucian. You're very
Great
welcome.
to have you aboard.
We're very happy.
#1 fan. You deserve it.
Yep, you're welcome, Lucian.
Yeah. Yeah, happy night day with buddy.
You
Oh,
too.
you too, my man. You
Rich
got a good
buddy,
one, pal.
that's your #1 fan, Rich.
I love you, bro. You're my #1 fan. I love you. That's why I do the live shows for you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm
But-
family too with buddy.
Nice fan.
He does. Ask what
Congratulations.
Rich Buddy's son's names are.
What the sun.
Yeah, Nicholas. Nicholas right here. He's got your world time. He's got the same watch as you, the Casio world time. You know that.
He's got the same one as you. Yeah.
Yep, that watch there.
Wow.
You guys are watch buddies.
Awesome.
You guys are watch buddies.
Yeah,
East Coast and West
Yeah.
Coast.
yeah. Hi.
And he was supposed to have it on right now, but he couldn't find it. He thinks it fell under the bed.
Oh
So
dear.
you got to look for it, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
We do. We have to do watch counts every day because they end up under beds and in hiding under pillows, don't they?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Hello, Worcester.
Hello. I have a Casio World Time, Casio Royale too, a World Time. I have one as well.
They're the watches to have, aren't they?
They are.
Wow. They're the ones to get. But now you've joined the Aragon Club, Lucian. So you're with the punter. You're a proper punter now.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love your watch. Now you have a blue dial, Lucian. You have a blue dial now. I don't think you had one before.
No, you didn't have a
No.
blue dial.
So now
did
you got a
Nope.
blue. Now you got a bluesy.
Yeah,
You got a bluesy, bluesy baby.
Yeah.
baby, baby.
Now you're part of the bluesy club.
Bluesy, bluesy, Rolex.
Brilliant.
Yeah, yeah. I come a lot.
And showcase, showcase.
Yeah, yeah. I
Hey,
will.
Lucian. Congratulations,
Oh.
man.
There's
Oh.
mine, Lucian.
Look, you're in Blue Shirts Club.
That's
You're in
the
the
one you're
club.
going to be getting.
Just like T-shirts. Wow.
All right, you want to say
That's
thank
right.
you one more time and then say, we'll see you on the other side, boys.
Yeah, yeah. Bye, Worcester.
Bye,
Yeah.
Lucian. Congratulations.
And congratulations again.
And congratulations, Lucian.
Yep, congratulations, Lucian.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Driver of the year.
So much appreciation, guys. Thank you. Thank you
No
all.
problem, Clam.
Thank you all. Love from the
pleasure.
Go
lover.
live, buddy.
Yeah, yeah. I father Worcester.
Okay. See
Okay,
you soon,
well,
Lucian.
see you
Bye,
on the other
Lucian.
side.
Take care.
Thank you very much for coming on.
Our first official junior punter.
Yeah. Wow. What a brilliant experience that
That
was.
Yeah.
That's awfully nice of you guys. That was amazing, guys. You guys are amazing.
Yeah.
That's
It
awesome.
needed doing, Rich.
Yep,
needed
it did.
doing.
It did.
Yeah. He really is our #1 fans. He is, really is.
It's certainly for you, man.
And it's great to see kids getting into the hobby as well. It's really healthy to promote kids getting into the hobby. I mean,
Exactly.
like Nicholas has got his Casio World Time, like you said. It's great to get kids into the hobby.
Yep.
Yeah, and the other
Definitely.
got its Toy Story on watch right now, right too. Right,
Mhm.
your Toy Story watch?
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
Brilliant.
Look at it, holding it up.
Brilliant.
Toy Story watch?
Hey, nice.
Love
Very
it. Huh?
nice.
Get them into the hobby as early as possible.
That's it.
That's the
Yep.
thing.
And I don't know if you guys noticed, but the last, I'm sorry I keep bringing them up, but the last Hodinkee special edition, the System 51, they did something really cool where they had one of their kids' watches as well that had the same color scheme. So, if you want to have a Hodinkee special edition, you can get one for your kids as well. So it's kind of cool.
Very nice. Very nice. That's what it's all about. sharing the fun, sharing the knowledge, and passing it on to the next generation.
Mm-hmm.
That's what
Well,
makes this hobby so much fun.
Even Patek say that, don't they? You don't
That's
own a Patek, you pass it on to the next generation.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Really look after it.
I'm gonna let the kids go and all. But thank you so much, and that was awesome.
Oh, you're welcome.
was
Rich.
No
really
problem,
amazing,
Rich.
guys.
Thanks for
Thank you for having me
sharing
on.
it with your guys.
I'm glad I did. Thanks, guys.
Yep.
Cool.
Thank you.
Take care.
See everybody.
Take care.
Thank you for joining.
Yeah.
Rich.
See you later.
Talk to you soon, mate. Well, that was the highlight of my day.
Yeah, that certainly made my entire week, and I think it's going to make my month too. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. So I've put a link to a watch in the private chat for you, which is the Atarius watch company. This is their Mission 71 watch.
And I have to go back to this.
And Atarios in Greek means partner or associate, and you become a partner or associate in saving the largest resource on Earth, which is our ocean, which makes up approximately 71% of our Earth's surface. And this is the Mission 71, which they've named this watch the Mission 71. It's a 300-meter water-resistant Miyota 9015 automatic movement, sapphire crystal with date magnification, raised bezel, screw down crown at 2 o'clock, and an engraving case back. This is the founder edition. It's the first ever Atarius dive watch, limited to 500 pieces, and this watch is only available to the first 500 supporters of this campaign. And then this specific color will never be produced again. Atarius is pledging 20%, a bit like the Gyre Sea Cleaner, that I purchased, that I showed on a previous stream. Atarius is pledging 20% of its profits to help rid the oceans of harmful pollution and plastics to save dying reefs and endangered marine life. They will also establish the Atarius College Scholarship Fund to help students who want to save the oceans and accomplish their goals to help the planet. They believe answers to life's big questions are within our reach and will come from the ocean research. The students they aim to help could possibly discover the cure for cancer and other horrific diseases through marine and environmental research, or discover new sustainable energy sources. They say the ocean is life. With a clean and healthy ocean comes a clean and healthy life for all. So an interesting watch, this one. Again, helping the environment with its purchase. And it's due to go for about €400, but I think it's going for €300 on the offer at the moment, on the early bird offer.
It's great to see.
The Microbrand that I saw, which caught my eye, I thought was great.
Yeah, good to see companies doing something helpful.
Yep, it's the one that you showed last time to Thomas. It's really cool, right? It's to see Microbrands instead of trying to just find something that's slightly original or something, right? Come up with something that's good and that might actually make a difference. So that's fun. So did you order one, Thomas? Because you've been ordering a lot of these watches.
No, I didn't order. I ordered one of the sea cleaners, but I didn't get around to ordering one of these ones.
Yeah.
They're nice, though. I do like this one. I like the crown at 2 o'clock instead of 4 o'clock.
Yeah, because I'm starting to imagine you with like a gigantic watch box.
I'm going to need to get a bigger watch box, definitely. Yeah.
Oh, very good.
So the next one in the chat was the Nodus duality that I put in the chat. And these are based in Southern California. This is run by two friends, Wes and Cullen, who've been running Nodus since 2017. And ever since it sold out back in 2019, the duality has been one of their most requested models to bring back. They immediately entered production of another batch and are happy to announce the duality is finally back and ready for ordering. This time, the duality has become a triality. In addition to the original two colorways, the Unity White and the Chasm Black, Nodus have introduced a new variant, which is the Silver Sky. And all three flavors of the duality were made available on Tuesday, the 28th of July, so they've just been released. And I love this Silver Sky one. It's my favorite of the three, to be honest with you. It's a 300-meter water resistant. It's got a sandwich dial with a pair of screw-down crowns, as you can see, making it like a compressor-style case.
Mhm.
And the sandwich dial has applied indices. It's got bubble dome crystal running on Miyota 9015 again, and it's this one comes in at $700.
That's not bad. Is that an inner rotating bezel?
Yes, this is. Yeah, with the second crown at 2 o'clock.
That's a good looking watch.
That is.
Isn't it? I love it with this silver colorway.
The duality, I don't know if I'd, wear that, but this one I'd consider.
Well, this is part of the duality range. It's actually.
Oh, I mean the split colors then. Split dial.
Oh, the split dial was just an advert, I think. That was just a mock-up for the a render for the website, showing you two different colors.
Ooh, loomed crowns. I like that.
I spotted that. Yeah, that's beautiful.
Aren't they?
I've heard a little bit about this brand, and I forget where I would have heard it. Probably on YouTube.
Mm-hmm. Very nice. Like you were saying, Thomas, especially this silver sky.
Yeah, the silver sky
particular
dial.
good-looking one.
Isn't it really nice looking?
Yeah.
And I also noticed that in the next link I put up, the Zelos have just released a new version of these swords, released some great new color variants of the Swordfish Diver. And they've done black teal, desert grey, emerald green, frost, meteorite colored dials. And they look absolutely gorgeous. Oh, are they all sold out?
Yeah.
Wow.
How long did they last?
I don't know.
Oh, you look at the prices. That's a great price.
Yeah, so
Yeah, Zealous doesn't. They sell it very quickly.
yeah, it's a 40mm Seiko NH35 with a 200-meter water resistant. It's got a match date wheel and 120 click bezel. It's screw links with flip lock and micro adjustment on the clasp. It's got a travel roll and a wooden gift box. It's named after one of the fastest fishes to swim in the ocean, which is the swordfish, which is known for breaching the surface in a majestic fashion. Similarly, the Zelos Swordfish Diver is created from a blend of angular and aerodynamic surfaces and exceptional components. This makes the Zelos Swordfish a sleek yet competent diver's watch. Highly luminous style was also a top priority with the sandwich construction and generous layers of superluminova C3 and BGW9 painted on. So as you can see from that shot, your loom is great on it. Very good loom. And the pricing is just absolutely brilliant for a microbrand. I mean, you can see that microbrands are offering amazing value for money, and they're making accessibility for watches just available to people on low budgets, which is great. You know, making great watches available to everyone.
Hopefully keeping them away from Daniel Wellington's. Look at that. Good choice. Nice find. Wonder if it said how long it takes to restock. Am I the only one who got quiet?
No.
Okay. Good.
Another company I looked at doing really nice watches was the Stratton watch company, which I put in the chat for you. So established in 2015 with a passion for racing cars and watches, they set out to create a watch brand which reflects these interests. Today, the Stratton Watch Company successfully launched and delivered thousands of watches, with new collections launching every year. So you can see the Stratton Curve chronograph, which is maybe down on is that down below on the next row? Yeah, the bottom. Oops.
Oh, what happened? My bad.
Yeah, so this is a lovely one, I thought. Nice 70s styling on this one. This goes for $499. It's 42 millimeter, 100 meter water resistance. It's running the Seiko VK64 Mecha Quartz Hybrid. It's got an inner rotating bezel, tracking a second time zone, so you can track a second time zone with that. It's also available on this gorgeous mesh bracelet. I found it quite a striking watch, to be honest with you. Lovely.
I don't know where the green one went. Only one unit remaining.
Really? I mean, you can go through a couple of the other models if you want. If you want to go back.
Yeah, sure thing.
It's a Synchro.
Oh. Bullhead sold out.
Yeah, the bullhead's gorgeous. Yeah. Is this a synchro?
Nope. I'm not sure what this one is. Bullhead.
Oh, stay on the bullhead if you want for a while. Yeah, the bullhead has a Valju 7750 or a VK 67. Seiko VK 67. You got the choice of the two, but currently sold out. But it's pre-order watch only, so I couldn't get a price on this one. But it's a gorgeous looking watch, the bullhead. Yeah, the other one I was looking at was the Synchro, which I think is in the middle, just in the middle there.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is a thinking of you here, Zippo, with your chronographs.
Yeah.
It's a 44mm or a 40mm case size, this one. 200m water resistant. Again, the Seiko VK64 Mecha Quartz movement. 316L surgical grade steel, of course. One version being a bit DLC coated. The left subdial is the 60-minute chrono timer, and the right subdial is the 24-hour timer. And it's got date at 6 o'clock, which I think is nicer than having it at 3 o'clock. Well, it'd be quite hard to have it at 3 o'clock with the subdial there, but it looks quite handsome with the date at 6 o'clock.
What else do they have to offer?
The Stratton Daily Driver. It's a very well priced this one. $279 this one. Using a Miyota 6S21 quartz. A solid link steel bracelet. Some 9 color variants on this one, including racing stripes like the one on the screen now. It's 44mm, 60-minute time on the left, small seconds on the right, and central sweeping chronograph second hand. Says the aim of the Daily Driver was for this watch to be an all-round everyday watch that doesn't break the bank. It certainly doesn't at $279. I think my favorite has to be the 70s inspired one.
Yeah, I would say the same. I think it's really cool that more and more brands are making watches with those cushion style cases or 70s style cases.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I kind of wish sometimes that it would make its way also into the higher end, right? Omega has reissued, I forget the mark, what it is, but Omega and Zenith have done it. I wish more people would.
If you just go back, Zippo, to the main page, you'll have a look at the 70s styled one. Just scroll down a second and go to the right, on the middle, just go up a second. No, sorry. Go back again. Just go to the middle row. That one on the far right. That one, yeah. The Special Automatic or Quartz. So this is available in automatic or quartz. It's the automatic being a Valju 7750 at $1,199, or the quartz being $499. And this is a gorgeous looking piece. This has to be my favorite of the range. Like Ernest was saying, he wishes more people did this 70s cushion case.
No, that's a beautiful case.
Yes, they do a really nice brown tiger's eye dial version.
Yeah, and totally agree with you, Orange Hand. The TV cases, yeah. I mean, there's especially brands that do have big design departments, right? Even if they have their own spin on it, I think it's really it's something that they should explore more.
Yeah, that's my favorite one, the Tiger's Eye brown dial.
I was just going to say that looks beautiful, that on the brown.
Lovely, isn't it? And using that workhorse 7750 movement, I mean, for around $1,000, I think that's great. Great styling and great movement at a great price. And you think of the watches that use the same movement that charge a lot more. Yeah, you're getting a great deal from a Microbrand.
Looks well finished as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, it's nice. You don't see many watches with that TV style case.
No, you don't see many, do you? No. It's definitely a 70s thing.
And they did it well by making their the subdials square, right? So they really did a great job. Sorry, Showcase, I cut you off.
No, I was just going to say, there's everything there, isn't there? There's chronograph, there's date, time. It's just got everything there in a real stylish package. I would think it'd be quite difficult to design as well. When you're in a TV style case, I think it's quite a hard dial to design. And I think they've pulled it off nicely.
How big are these?
42 millimeters.
Okay, so that's not bad. That's nice.
That's a beautiful brown.
Yeah, and they look good on those rally straps.
Yep.
Well, that one's good. That one's good looking too.
And Showcase has one queued up. Go to that one. Did you want to take a look at any others, Thomas?
I've got another brand, but Showcase can show his brand. Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
Are you bringing the Rec watches?
I am, yeah.
Yeah. So the Rec Watch company, that's a company that I don't know if anyone's familiar with it. They basically take material from classic cars, classic planes. I mean, they do a Spitfire model. They do I think this particular one's from the Porsche. If you scroll down, you'll see the car. But basically, what they do is they take material from the vehicles to make the watches. So it's all classic cars or whatever that have reached the end of their life, and they convert them into just real nice designed watches. They are very much focused on design. But I think they're an interesting watch. I mean, I own one of these. I did own one of these. Well, my wife bought me one. She got me one of the Cooper ones, and I really like them from a design aesthetic. I think some of them, they pay quite a lot of attention to the design, and the movements aren't terrible either. I don't know what you guys think.
I like it.
Very nice.
Yeah.
They're interesting. And it's something that you can. It's one of those watches you can wear, and every time you look at the dial, you notice something new.
It's funny. I just went to the page for the Mini Cooper one, and when they present the car, they say they call it the organ donor.
Yes.
That's interesting.
But they also do the Spitfire one, which is interesting as well, because there's a Spitfire model, which was obviously made from a World War II Spitfire. I think that was the RJM. And
for RJ Mitchell.
Yeah, and they've just got the nice traditional sort of pilot watch aesthetic. But what I like about them is every dial's different, because obviously the material isn't the same. So it's every dial's got a slight different look to them.
What's the other company that uses parts from an old plane or something?
Well, there's a bunch of them. I had one. It's called Talker, and they use
Talker.
they use bits of a C-47, which is the military version of the DC-3, the plane that dropped the paratroopers on D-Day.
Yeah,
and they use it as part of their watch.
Yeah, Neo Bremont also did that, right? Just for a ton more money than this.
Right.
I forget what I forget what money are what movements are in these. So I'm gonna find it.
I think the chrono from the price might be a quartz. Are they all mechanical or?
Yeah, some of the higher end ones are mechanical. Yes, here we are. So it's a Miyota caliber 9100 movement with rotor decoration, frequency 28,800 vibrations per hour, power reserve 40 hours, and it's 26 joule.
Interesting. I like them.
Nice.
So it's, at the price point, it's got a nice movement in it for the price point. And like I said, that those dials are so interesting. When when you have it on your wrist, every time you look at it, you'll notice something different.
Yeah, I'll have to check these out. Yeah. Very interesting.
I mean, I got mine when the brand first started getting off the ground. My wife bought me one, and it's one of the Cooper ones. But they don't have it on their system anymore. It predates all these, and that's a quartz movement watch. But the case and everything's they're well made. They're a well made watch. There's absolutely nothing wrong with them. I think if I was to get another one, I think I would go down the mechanical route, because they've really upped the game in the last 5 or 6 years.
Right.
But it's another company. It's another sort of micro brand that's growing as a company. I don't know exactly when they started, but I don't think they're a very old company, and they've come on leaps and bounds in the last, I'd say, 5 or 6 years. But it's one that I've kept an eye on, because I like what they're doing. They're not taking cars off the road or planes out the air. They are taking something that's already scrap and turning it into something. So they're upcycling scrap into watches.
Yeah.
Thomas, I just sent you a message, but you beat me to it.
Yeah, I put that in. Just put that in the chat. We've been sent a promotional code by William from Williams Watches Discord, and this is for the Boulder brand, which I've just put in the chat. Which do a nice array of watches.
They do.
They've got a nice lots of field watches and
using
chronographs.
Using some Salida movements.
Yeah, do you want to explain about these, Bruce? Blue Shirt? And I'll just put the code in the chat. I'll just put this discount code in the chat.
Okay. I just looked this up just now, so just bear with me. Boulder is a company founded by a couple of gentlemen from Singapore and Malaysia. It's mainly their big push is field watches, but well-built ones, and some real interesting things. The one that caught my eye in particular was the Expedition Rushmore, which it's down on the bottom. And it's a good-looking field watch. It's got an inner rotating bezel. It's 41 millimeters, made out of 316L steel. It's using a Salida 200 SW200-1 automatic movement with a 38-hour power reserve. It's water resistant down to 200 meters. A screw down crown with an embossed logo. As I mentioned earlier, it has the inner rotating bidirectional bezel. Has a matte black dial with the Super Luminova BGW9 C3. The hands have Super Luminova. It has a double dome sapphire crystal with anti-reflective coating. It's got a very nice looking rubber strap. It's 14 millimeters thick with a lug width of 20 millimeters and a lug-to-lug distance of 46. So while it may look like a big watch, it's really fairly well proportioned. It's got a short lug-to-lug. So that, at least for me, that's what really defines how a watch is going to size more so than the case diameter. And it's just a really good-looking, rugged-looking field watch, and they have many different flavors.
There's some lovely ones, isn't there? Yeah, really are nice.
Yeah. So William had sent that out, and it was very generous that we have a code for a 10% discount. And as Thomas put it in, it's MWGBOLDR, and that's 10% discount for anything off of the Boulder website. That blue one also caught my eye. Very interesting looking watch.
Yeah, the case shape reminds me of the Zenith Defy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's just very, nothing fancy, but very clean, very classic looking field watches. And I have a very, I have a great affinity for field watches. They're fun.
Really nice. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that one.
Yeah, and again, that's the 10% discount code is MWGBOLDR.
All in block capitals.
Right, all in capitals.
So we'll jump to Thomas's next.
Yeah, this is a brand called Spinnaker. You can see this is a new release, this new limited edition. This is the Boulder diver. It's a new diver release they've got coming out, which is quite a handsome looking diver. But they do quite a nice range. If you go to the just to the top where it says collections, and just click on different watches. If you click on the first one I was going to pick out was the Flus. If you see where it says watches, I'll just get rid of that.
Once I can get out of this,
just click on the main page. That'll take you back. So we go collections, and if we go down where it says vintage, if we go down to the Flus, that one, yeah. Now this one reminded me of the Glasshouse original CQ a bit, and also the 50 Fathoms. And this is a hybrid high beam mecha quartz movement, going for $285, as you can see, which I thought was great value for money. It's a 43mm case. They do a chronograph in this as well. And this is 150 meters water resistance. Really nice. It's got such a look at the 50 Fathoms about it. It's that look at the bezel that reminds me of it, I think. And then there's the Dumas, which was another one. If you go back to the collections, the Dumas under vintage again, Dumas. Yeah, though this one reminded me of the Omega Shom, SHOM, which was a watch that was made for a French oceanographic research company, and during the 70s. And this looks absolutely gorgeous. I mean, when I was searching for my baby Ploprof, I considered one of these because of the orange hand, and yeah, I really love it. And if you scroll down, there's some more colorways. I think there's a really nice grey dialed one.
Yeah.
The grey dialed one I love. Really nice with orange highlights. So that's going for $400, as you can see. It's got an NH35 Seiko movement in it with this Milanese mesh bracelet. It's 44 millimeters with 300 meters water resistance, and yeah, lovely looking watch. And there's some more. There's the Hull, which was another one. This one, I love the California dial one on the left, on the right, sorry, the far right. Just reminded me of a Panerai case. It's a Panerai 1940s Luminor. Again, it's using a Seiko NH35, and I'm in love with California dials, so I'm a sucker for them. So, but for the price of $250, I thought this was an amazing entry into a California dial for an automatic movement. Again, a Seiko NH35, 42 millimeters, 100 meters water resistant, and yeah, beautiful watch, gorgeous.
Very nice.
Like that layout.
You're a chronograph man, though, aren't you?
Yes, sir. Date window up at the 12. Always like that. I've heard a little bit about these, not a whole lot.
Another was the Spence model, which reminded me a great deal of the Tudor sub, sort of Pelagos look. I think yeah, again using the Seiko NH25, it's 42 millimeters, 200 meter water resistance, but again, amazing value for money, and just great to get people who are either starting in the hobby or want to get quite a few watches and can't afford the higher end stuff. Want to get in for, again, about $280. Was it this one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, a great little piece.
It is. It is.
Your bracelet?
There may be one on a bracelet.
Oh.
Is it, or is it all on straps? They're all leather straps, I think, this model.
Okay.
I think it was the Tessel. Is it the Tessel model? That reminded me of the Tudor Black Bay bronze. This is a Solita SW200 movement in this one. It's going for quite a bit more, $850 as you can see. It's a 43mm, just like the Black Bay bronze, and it's 300-meter water resistant. But I'm not sure it's actually made of bronze. This one, does it say?
Solid bronze.
Yeah, forged out of solid bronze. Yeah, so this is a bronze watch. So yeah, it's lovely. So you can get into that if you feel like getting into the bronze fad and you don't have the money for a Tudor or a Panerai. You can jump in with this.
I think that's got a beautiful overall aesthetic on that. I love the text on the dial. I just think it's got a bit of the Speedmaster sort of dial on it, hasn't it, with the wave dial?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to post the link again, Zippo? So we could. I think we're expecting someone, aren't we?
Yep.
I hope so.
Do you want to post the link?
See if it sticks this time. There we go.
Yep,
Yeah,
it's working. Cool.
Guys, I'll be right back. Just 1 second here.
No worries.
It must be you. It must be you, Bruce.
What's that?
Whenever you're on a live stream, the host always disappears.
Yeah. What can I tell you?
What are you trying to say exactly?
Thomas, were you able to post that that discount code in the chat?
Yeah, I did post it. Do you want me to do it again?
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I'll post that again.
All right.
Have you got any watches you want to bring up, Bruce?
Yeah. I posted it in the private chat. It's the one that I mentioned before when NS had mentioned about pieces of aircraft. The brand's called Talker, and they do a what's called a D-Day watch. They do it both in bronze, and then they also do it in stainless steel. I'll wait till... Yeah, if you just close that... there you go. Okay. So basically, the brand traces its origins back to World War II when the founder of Talker, Austin Ivy's grandfather, Eugene Martin Jr., was serving as a lieutenant in the Army Air Transport Command. He began his service as a P-51 Mustang flight instructor. And Lieutenant Martin then went on to fly the C-47 Skytrain transport plane, which was the military version of the DC-3. He flew these planes then over the hump, which is the eastern end of the Himalaya Mountains in between China and India. And this was a famous supply line to get supply. The only way that we could supply the Allied forces in India was to fly supplies over the Himalaya Mountains, which are some of the highest mountains in the world. So it was a pretty daunting endeavor. So his grandfather flew 52 missions and was awarded the China War Memorial Medal. And then after the war, he continued flying. This inspired his grandson 30 years later, who always had a passion for flight and a strong love of watches, to create a brand inspired by his grandfather, but using Swiss watchmaking as a bench standard. So he was able to work with for this particular watch. He was able to work with the Commemorative Air Force, which is a group of gentlemen who not supply, but they refurbish and show off restored World War II aircraft in Texas. And they have they bring them to air shows all over the country. They're the largest group and have the largest collection of still flying World War II aircraft. So
Wow.
what's interesting about this watch is that the dial is actually a piece of a C-47 that actually flew in on the D-Day on June 6, 1944, on D-Day.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
and dropped paratroopers behind German lines in France.
How amazing.
Yeah, and so you can get it in different versions. You can get it clean cut, meaning that it's just a clean piece of metal. You can get it stamped, where there's a little bit of a little bit more wear and tear, and then you can get it what they call hard worn, where there's not much paint left of the from the skin of the aircraft. So basically, you're getting literally a piece of history that you're wearing on your wrist, and that's something that I'm a big World War II buff, so this is very near and dear to my heart, and it's just a very cool idea, and that you get a chance to wear a piece of history on your wrist is just really, really fascinating to me. They were doing restoration on this aircraft, so this metal was being removed anyway. So it's not like they went and they cut a big chunk out of it just to go sell it. They were able to acquire this when this aircraft was getting renovated. It was just going to get scrapped anyway, so they were able to acquire this and put it in their watches. It's a 42 millimeter case. It's a nice cushion shaped. It is running an ETA 2834-A6, which is a 25 joule movement running at 28.8. It's got a 40 to 42 hour power reserve. It's water resistant down to 50 meters. The case back is plain, but you can get it custom engraved from them. And like I said, the dial is cut from original portion of aeronautical aluminum that was rescued from the aircraft. This one particular C-47 that was called "That's All Brother" during its extensive restoration.
Wow,
that is so cool,
isn't it?
Fascinating story.
Yeah.
Trace it like that.
So just very interesting. It's a little expensive, but
I think the price reflects the amount of labor, Bruce, that goes into the actual watch.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, welcome, James.
Great. Yeah, hey James, welcome.
How are you guys doing?
We're well. We're well.
Here's founder Simons wants to take copies of him. Here's James Arthur. Welcome to the stream, James.
Thanks for having me, guys. It's been a while, been a long time. You guys are doing a wonderful job. Love listening to the stream. Sunday with the Punters.
Yeah.
Hey, James, how are you?
Very well. So I'm talking to Showcase Watches. How are you, James?
Yeah, good, thank you. Yeah, good.
Bruce, Thomas, NS.
Hi.
And, of course, Chris.
Yeah.
Good having you aboard.
So, and I see Junior Johnson's in the chat. Matt from Semi-Free Math, Mr. Petrol, Orange Hand.
Yeah, we've got all the usual crew in the chat joining us.
Nice seeing Earl. Hello
old
to
Sunday with the
my my assistant, who I got very early this morning.
Yes, thank you, Renee.
Good job, Renee.
Yep,
Shot in the dark. Some very familiar names. And of course, Clams there as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mr. Petrol. And Geezer.
Yeah. All the geezers joining us here.
Oh, God. Well, this is my first time live. ID guy, is ID guy there? Is ID guy in the chat?
I think
was earlier.
He was earlier, yeah.
I think he may still be watching. Yeah.
He's probably fallen asleep after that live show last night.
Yeah. It was a long one, wasn't it?
It was. They've been getting longer and longer from week to week, haven't they?
They have indeed.
So
Oh,
it's nice to join you guys finally. So it's been a while. I've been obviously under the weather, but finally here I am. So
yeah, good to hear you getting better, back onto the road to recovery.
yes,
exactly.
I'm COVID free. Thank you, thank God. As of a
Brilliant.
few weeks ago, still not my normal self, but I had an unfortunate accident in the hospital, which I think a few of you know about, which is a funny running joke now, of course. But look, I'm back. I'm back into it. Still at home, still on home rest. But we've all been in isolation, so we've all learned to deal with the new way of living.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Good,
so, but look, at least we've got these streams, and we've got the watch community to keep us all, stop us from going crazy, or stop our wives from killing
keep
us.
us sane. So you're an amazing watch fan. You've been into it for a long time. How long have you been into it for?
Well, for me, my journey began, I guess, I always say 24, 25 years, but I've come to realize that's actually longer than that now, because my daughters are Megan's going on 25, and my other daughter, Jacinta's going on 27, 28. So you sort of, I've always said 24, 25 years, but it's probably going on 26, 27 years. So I didn't really mean to fall into the hobby. I was just like anybody else, but just wearing a watch for the sake of wearing a watch, Casios, Pulsars, Seikos. It was just a fashion, I guess just a fashion item to tell the time. Back in those days, we didn't have smartphones or anything. It was just a watch and to wear to work with a suit. And then one day, I was with a bunch of business guys, and we all decided to walk into a Tag Heuer boutique.
Wow!
And we all, we're all bankers, stockbrokers. We're making decent money, and we all bought a Tag Heuer. Which was back then. That was sort of the go. If you wore a Tag Heuer, you're pretty cool.
Absolutely,
quite an aspirational watch.
That was the go-to. Yep.
Yeah.
And back then, you didn't know anything, but you didn't really differentiate quartz or automatic or any of those things. It was like what looked good on the wrist and what was flashy. I bought I didn't know, but we didn't know about chronos, or even then they had half digital. I mean, an SEL had half digital, half hands, or an SLR or whatever it was called. I bought a SLR 6000, I think it was, big silver, really nice watch, for a couple of grand, I think, or 1,500 or something like that. That was my journey began, and I was just so surprised that I had this beautiful silver watch, and I could wear it in the shower. And I was into swimming and ocean swimming and surfing and all those sorts of things, and I could take this watch in the ocean. And I was just so amazed that I could have this watch that actually could do all these things. We're talking a long time ago.
Yeah.
And it just blew my mind. I mean, before I knew it, I was back at the Tag Heuer shop again, and I bought myself a Tag Heuer Curium.
Brilliant.
Kyrium. I don't know if you
That's
guys
quartz.
know that watch.
That's a quartz one, the Kyrium, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, black face, loved it. So my first 11 or 12 watches that I bought were all Tarkuas, and to this day, I've got either 10 or 11 of them because one got stolen off me in a nightclub by a bouncer who was either get my teeth broken or give him my watch. So I elected to give him my watch, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he actually asked if he could try it on, and me being a bit naive,
Right.
him trying it on meant he was a very large Tongan guy. I'm a pretty large guy too, by the way. In the end, he said, "I think I'll keep that." And I looked at him. I said, "What do you mean you think you'll keep it?" And he goes, "It looks good on my wrist." And I said, "You can't even do the clasp up. Your wrist is so big." But I said, "If that's what you want to do is steal my watch so you can't earn the money for yourself, why don't you just keep it?" And he goes, "I will." I said,
dear.
"Are you seriously going to keep my watch?" And he goes, do you want this in your face?" I said, "No, I'll pass, thanks."
Oh no.
So, but other than that, I mean, I love Tarkua, and then I sort of just from that point onwards, in all honesty, I've always been left of field. I migrated into, Amigas. When I used to travel a lot in business. Amigas, Panerai, I was a pan boy for a while. Hublets. While my colleagues went to sort of Rolex and AP, the guys would always say to me, you're wearing the poor man's AP and all that sort of stuff. I was always sort of different to everybody else in my collecting strategy. I sort of always bought what I liked. And then
as you should do.
Yeah, as you should do. I mean, you buy what you like. I mean, I was never one for peer group pressure, but you sort of But then you say that, but in the end, we all sort of in the end do succumb to that. Not because of ego, but because in the end, I ended up buying AP, and I'd wear, in order to shut these guys up, I'd have an AP on one wrist and a Hublet on the other wrist.
Brilliant.
But honestly, I'm a fairly big unit, well built unit, and to me the AP was back then was too small compared to a Hublet.
Right.
And to me it looked a bit punchy on my wrist.
Right.
I bought my first AP. I called it the Panda, and it was a bit punchy compared to a nice Hublet. So anyway, I got an AP, and off it went, and then I ended up getting into. I'm still into large watches, pretty much, to be honest with you. But then I entered into after being in a pan boy for a long time and bronzos and all those sort of things, and I had more straps. We all went through that phase of having lots of straps, and going to meetups and having straps and so forth. I entered the world of Rolex, like everybody does, because I'm in banking. Everybody, was always a bit of a competition who went and entered subs and then sea dwellers and Daytonas and all those sorts of things. To be honest with you, I'm not a Rolex boy. I've got them all. I pretty much daily driver was a sub for business, but it wasn't really the watch that I loved.
Right.
I then got into, once again, bigger watches, Rolex, AP Rolex, AP Rolex offshores. And that's, but I do like Rolex. I mean, I wear, a deep sea or a sea dweller because I like that size, that sort of fit. My wrist, depending on which wrist I wear on, is 7.5 inches above the knuckle, or depending on how you measure your wrist, below the knuckle, it's probably closer to 7.75 or 8 inches.
Right. So
and depending on how toned I am, if I'm working out at the gym, I'm bordering on, an 8-inch wrist.
Right. So you can pull off a big watch without it looking too big.
Right.
Yeah. I'm 6'3", well built. I think like anybody, if you're going to the gym, it comes back to also climate. If you're in hot summer, we all retain fluid and all those different things.
Right.
There's all those different factors. You can, especially if you're wearing NATOs or straps, you can tell by where you've been wearing your strap as to what your wrist is doing.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah,
yeah,
we're
good point.
very similar, James. I'm 6'3", and I have a 7.5-inch wrist, and my wrist, depending on what I'm doing and where I'm going, increases and decreases. Increases during the day, decreases at night.
And summer, I would imagine as
Correct.
well.
Yep.
Yeah. So for me, if I'm in the gym 3 times a week, my wrist goes up. It's just natural. It's not that it's not the bone. Your bone doesn't change, but it was a topic I spoke to the guys about recently. And it's also where you wear your watch. I mean, I've noticed that through wrist shot photos, we all wear our watches in different places, above the knuckle or below the knuckle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which is quite an interesting thing. And I noticed with myself, I tend to wear it in different places as well, depending on the watch. If it's on a strap or a bracelet, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I mean, it's something you don't consciously do, but I was listening to a YouTube video from an Aussie guy who I quite respect, and he always puts a different perspective on things. He's called Pete McConville from Not So Obvious Watches. He's got a pretty good following in Australia, but he's been in the army, been in the Air Force for 30 years, and he always puts a different spin on everything else on YouTube. And he did a YouTube about this exact subject, and I started looking at the way I was wearing my watches, and I wore all my watches differently depending on if it was a little band or a NATO, a dress watch, or a Rolex, or an AP Rolex with a rubber strap. I found that I was wearing my watches in different places on my wrist.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Also, if you're wearing a polo or a business shirt, I mean,
correct.
I don't wear a suit much anymore. I'm a business guy in jeans, a polo, and a set of Adidas's. That's my business attire, regardless if I'm in the boardroom or if I'm, kicking around home. I wear what I like, what I feel comfortable in.
Yeah.
I don't have to, even if I'm on Zoom
Right.
or whatever, I don't wear it. If I'm meeting somebody for the first time and it's an important thing, I'm in a suit, but I'm no tie type of guy.
Right.
Sure.
Do you have a go-to watch?
Yeah. I mean, I have a rotation. I mean, I used to do a lot of travel, Bruce.
Mm-hmm.
So I carry 7 watches with me when I travel.
Mm-hmm.
And that changes depending on the country or the events that I'm attending, be a charity event or whatever it may be.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd always carry with me a couple of Rolexes. So basically, I always carry with me a Sea Dweller, a James Cameron. I'm a huge GP collector to my own detriment, but I'm not a flipper, so it makes no difference about value retention.
Right.
So I've always got a constant escape.
So it's Girard Perregaux, isn't it?
Yeah, Girard Perregaux. I've always got one of those with me because as a dress watch, love it. I'm not really a chrono type guy, but I always would carry until it got stolen in New York last year. I got mugged. The whole bunch of other guys. I was going there for business, and I went to the James Bond launch for Amiga. And we all got they were more interested in our tech and than our watches. I mean, I had the cheapest watch of all on my wrist, to be honest with you. I had the Daytona anniversary with the ice blue face. And I had all of us, I had the cheapest watch.
Wow.
But it's the only Rolex I've lost money on, I would say, because I lost 20 grand for what I paid when I got the insurance claim.
Mm-hmm.
So so I always carry pretty much a couple of Rolexes. I carry a couple of GPs, and then a couple of swimmers or a swimmer or something casual with me. So and so I guess always a couple of Rolexes, even though I'm not a Rolex boy, because that's sort of my comfort zone. If I'm sitting at home or at my desk, I'm carrying a Rolex, and usually an Omega Seamaster of some description.
Right. Excellent.
I was going to ask you what sort of what sort of watches do you gravitate towards? But I think you've answered that question. I was going to say, do you go towards a 3-hander or a chronograph or GMT or dress?
Yeah, I'm a three-handed Thomas, or if I'm traveling, obviously a GMT.
Yeah.
Obviously, I had traveling on that, Pepsi, that Batman. I gave up my back girl to my wife because I found it too noisy. As much as I love the look of a Jubilee bracelet, I don't like the feel of it.
Okay.
Right.
I prefer the Oyster bracelet.
An Oyster man. Gotcha.
Yeah, I don't know why. I love the look of it. I think it's great. I've got the blue face Pepsi white gold, which is, I think, is a stunning looking watch.
It is. Yeah, Rich Buddy just bought one.
Yeah,
That's the white gold one, isn't it?
I saw he's been dancing around on the Discord about it. Look, it's a stunning watch, stunning looking watch. But for me, the problem is all those watches still are on the edge of size because they're 40 mil.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm not wearing a business shirt,
they're a bit small.
They're just they fit my wrist and they look good. It's a mental thing for me.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
If I'm wearing a polo or I'm wearing a shirt, which is because obviously I have a tailored shirt, I want something which is large.
Mm-hmm.
So like I want the 44 mil Royal Oak offshore.
Gotcha.
Or I'll go as large as I picked up a Shack 48 mil.
Mm-hmm.
Or I want the big piece because that's just what I feel comfortable in. And a lot of people don't. And as you know, getting those watches in the pre-owned secondary market is easy. It's cheap, and I get great deals on those pieces from the guys that I deal with because right now the market's saying otherwise. The market is saying we don't want big watches.
Mm-hmm.
So I love the bricks. The AP brick.
Yep.
I started buying those up, a long time ago because what was happening was the market was buying them and they were buying them to bling them out.
Mm-hmm.
So I started picking them up at a really good price because I thought one day there'll be none of these left because everybody who's buying them is drilling holes into them and putting diamonds in them.
Right.
Wow.
That's a heavy watch. It's coming in at 400+ grams.
It is. I had the opportunity to try on a solid rose gold 15500, and that it's a while. I've never experienced anything like that on the wrist before. It just feels so totally different.
407 grams, Bruce. It's just a beautiful piece. I was never into rose gold until I saw that watch. I've got them in, and I love racing inspired watches. So, I'm not a chrono guy, but when it comes to the Royal Oak offshore, I am. The Montoya, the Barrichello. I've got those pieces, but you look what they're trading for now compared to what they were at 60, 80 grand. The Montoyas are down to 30, 35 grand at the moment.
Really?
It's just ridiculous. Wow. The Schumacher is still holding its own. But some of those watches have come down substantially. Mm-hmm. And look, they are a top quality watch. They look great on wrist. They have great presence. If you like a big watch, if you don't like a big watch, it's no good to you. As for, I'd love to be able to wear a 1016 or, I've tried them on. Trust me, Megan's got them. I look at them on my wrist and I just think, I just can't do this. I just can't put this on.
Yeah, too big, too small.
I think those watches are fantastic. I love the clean look of an Explorer. They are just a wonderful looking watch, but I just feel, I don't have the words insecure, but I just feel completely out of place wearing something like that.
Out of your comfort zone.
Yeah. And you look at some of those watches, the greens, and there's some beautiful looking Rolexes and colors, and I mean, there's some great watches in the 34, 36 mil category that I'd love to be able to wear, but my brain says no.
Yeah, it's often the way, though, isn't it? It's often psychological. We try watches and we get a fixed idea ingrained in our head, don't we? What suits us and what we like, and that's how our tastes develop. And
exactly, and it's always, sometimes you go into look at a watch with a preconceived notion of what you think it's going to be just from the research you've done, and then once you actually see it in person and put it on your wrist, and your perception, either one way or the other, can completely change. It's just really it's funny how it works that way sometimes.
I think it also depends on what you're collecting as well, because I remember when I had my 45.5 mil Planet Ocean chronograph, I couldn't wear any Rolex at that point. I just couldn't. I was that used to wearing a 45 mil watch, and then once I let that one go, and I went on to 40 mil watches. I remember when I had my Planet Oceans, and I purchased the first generation Black Bay 58, and I couldn't wear it because it just felt too small. And whereas now, because I've been used to wearing 40 mil watches, I can pull off. I can wear the 39 millimeter watches, and it doesn't feel small in the slightest. So I think
what size wrist do you have, James?
Well, would you believe I've been into watches now for 10 years and I've no idea.
Really?
I've never made. All I can tell you is that on the GMT Batman, I need a full bracelet. On the GMT Batman.
Well, so you're the same as me, basically. I mean, I'm
a big guy.
One link out of a Sea Dweller because you've got the adjustments in the diver bracelet.
Yeah. I think that's why Omega's always been a preferable brand to me, because Omega always overcompensate on their.
Oh, they do. That's correct.
I know with my Speedmaster, I need one link out on my Speedmaster. I need one link out of my Tudor Black Bay 58, but a Rolex bracelet, I need the full bracelet on a Rolex.
In the old days, I'd need a couple of links out of an Omega. You'd have a couple of spare links in your box because Omega are always very generous with the links.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got the full set of Omega James Bond because not that I'm into that sort of stuff, but I do love James Bond. I love the story. I don't go around collecting movie watches, but there are certain things that I like, and I've got the full James Bond set. So it's one of those things that you can't. It's one of those things I like to have.
Do you know, I'm going to measure my wrist actually while I'm on, because I've never done it in my life.
This is the argument. Where do you measure your wrist from? Above the knuckle or below the knuckle, which gives you two different readings, and then it's like your foot size. If you measure your foot, any of us, we're going to get two different sizes on our feet. I do personally when I measure my feet. I get custom shoes, but my feet are different sizes. So when you measure your wrist, left and right hand, you get two different sizes. Then if you measure above your knuckle and below the knuckle, you get two different sizes. So you basically use a piece of string and cut it, right? So these are all the different things that you learn. And because I can wear my watch on either hand, and I do. Sometimes sometimes if I'm just around home, I know it's a bit of a thing. It's not, you don't state, but I'll wear a watch on both wrists because I've got a fairly substantial collection, and my watches don't get wrist time.
Right. To enjoy them, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. So I like to spend a lot of time with the watches that I don't get to spend time with, and it's a bit wankerish to wear two watches out. It's like they think you either got psychological problems or you're just a show off.
Yeah.
So
7 3/4.
7. Well, so you are my size wrist.
So I've just basically what I've done is I've just torn a strip of A4 paper, wrapped it on my wrist, and then just we'll do it again.
As Orange Hand mentions, you also need to look at the shape of your wrist, right?
Correct.
And the width, really. If you can try with a caliper, that does help, because you do have some people with very large circumference wrists that have trouble pulling off a big watch, right? It depends if your wrist size comes from working out or eating a little bit too much.
That's a good point, and that's where the gym comes in. You find that when you go to the gym more often, your muscle bulks up all over. And but the other thing, NS, is that a lot of the things can be compensated in a watch also with the lug to lugs.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, lug to lug is incredibly important. If you have compact lugs, you can wear quite a bigger watch than you'd expect.
Absolutely.
Or even smaller. Like that's where the DBs, they get it really right with the lug to lug, and the way you can use multiple straps on a Depune. The DBs I've tried to get into some new brands like DBs, and obviously of recent I've become a bit of a Moser like yourself, NS. The streamliner took me by complete surprise. I didn't like it at first.
It grows on you.
Oh, the guys at Moser just, they did the puppy dog sell.
Mm-hmm.
They loaned me one.
And then you were hooked.
Yeah, and then since then, I don't know. I've bought a few too many Mosers and my girls, and and because now I've fallen in love with the company, and I don't know, I'm one of those people who gets an emotional attachment to things, and I don't think I've ever flipped a watch, so I don't. So therefore, resale. I mean, I hear so many of these YouTubers talking all the time, which they're very unqualified about resale and retention. Well, for a person like me who's really a collector of things, I am probably more what you call a watch hoarder, because once I've got it, it can't leave me.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
If it's going to leave me, it's going to leave me because I'm going to gift it to somebody, and therefore I'm passing it over as a gift or something.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to be selling it, so I don't really care if my GP goes down in value by 70%.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
good philosophy. Good philosophy.
Yeah.
It sounds like you're definitely drawn towards sports watches. But what about
and artistic watches like GPs and that sort of stuff?
Mm-hmm.
GF,
What about as far as dress watches in your collection?
GP. I mean, Gerard
GP?
Perregaux.
Okay.
GF.
So the constant escapement and the
I've
Golden
got
Bridge.
7 or 8 of those.
The Golden Bridge and the
the Bridge tourbillons. I mean, I would say that I would be probably one of the largest collections of GP I would say, because I'm pretty close with GP, and they only manufacture about 3,500 watches a year.
Mm-hmm.
And they're designers, CEOs, and marketing people. I'd say probably one of the largest collectors in their top anyway. Put it that way.
Wow.
Because I got hooked by a good friend of mine, Waco, who's head of Revolution.
Right.
Oh yeah.
He got me started on them. He got me to buy the first ever constant escapement watch, which I spent too much money on. In fact, it was my largest ever watch purchase. I don't know how, but I fell in love with the watch, the 48 mil white gold. It was at the launch party.
Mm-hmm.
I just couldn't get my eyes off it. It basically looked like a swatch at the time. Nobody else was very impressed. Way gave an amazing speech about the watch. I paid just absolutely ridiculous money for this watch. I even had buyer's remorse after I walked out of the dinner because I just put it on my Amex card. But then I just grew to appreciate the brand and the design, and just fell in love with the brand. That was like 10 years ago.
Yeah, it's a brand with a lot of history that a lot of people overlook. It's too bad because it's a really cool brand, and they have a very wide selection, from the very, very high end to what I would say is more approachable, like mid. I don't want to say mid tier, but maybe entry level into high horology.
They do.
Yeah, and they're a really cool brand, and I think people need to look at them more.
Well, it's hard to justify the. I mean, my girls, obviously Megan's into vintage, and she sort of gets her new watches for gifts from us as Christmas or birthday gifts, and that's her new watches. Other than that, she is completely into vintage. But like, it's hard to when they're into AP, but it's hard to justify an AP Royal Oak when you look at a GP Laureato. You're talking about $11,000 retail watch, which offers everything that an AP does in terms of style, color, dial, quality, and you're talking about a white dial Laureato is $11,200 retail, say, and you can get 30% off at your AD. And you're looking at a white dial AP Royal Oak standard stainless steel, and you got to pay $31,000 for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, look, it's a hard pill to swallow when I can honestly say, because we've got both. It's a lot of money. If you're going to spend $31,000, you can buy a 3-piece watch collection for $31,000.
Yeah.
And get a Laureato, which in my mind is the equivalent of quality to a Royal Oak.
Interesting. Yeah.
I mean, look, the Royal Oak's got one thing going for it. It's probably one of the best watch bands ever. I've ever seen on a watch.
The bracelet is something else.
Bracelet, yeah. But you know what? That Streamliner NS is a very, very close second.
Yeah, I mean, I find the one thing that Moser does very, very well is the attention to detail for every single part of the watch that they make, right from the buckle to the case to the movement, the crystal, the dial, the hands, and that's what I found with the Streamliner. Right, everything I've seen about it, and I've actually talked to a few owners of them, and the bracelet, right? The attention to detail. It's not just another sport watch steel bracelet.
Not.
Yeah.
The bracelet is I'm not a Patek fan. I don't have many Pateks in my collection. I think I have a pre-owned World Timer, and I have some Aquanauts. So, and that was only because I liked the green Aquanaut, the hand grenade.
Yeah, beautiful watch.
Yeah, it's iconic.
Yeah. So other than that, my oldest daughter, has a few Pateks in rose gold. She bought herself, but I don't have Pateks. One that, once again, we go back to size. Often they're too small for my wrist.
Right.
For one, I appreciate the beauty in a Patek, and I know everybody thinks they're the bee's knees and all that. As for me, will go with a Gerard Perregaux every single day of the week over a Patek, because that's what my passion is.
Yeah.
And I can't get excited over a Patek because that's not what makes me happy or excited.
Right.
And I'm not ditching the guys who love Pateks and get excited by them, because that's what their passion is.
Yeah, I'm the same way, James. I appreciate them for what they are. The majority of them just don't float my boat, but they're gorgeous timepieces. But they don't make my heart sing. So if a watch isn't going to make my heart sing, then I'm not going to, be into it just to impress somebody else.
No, I'm the same. Look, I think personally, they're really expensive for what they are. I mean, my daughter's got my oldest daughter's got an AP perpetual calendar. I mean, that is like, you can put that against an Patek. The AP is half the price, but it's pretty much the same watch.
Yeah, same complication.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't know. I mean, I think maybe the older and more mature you become, it's like anything. You want a Rolls Royce as opposed to driving a Porsche, for example.
Yeah, you grow into dress watches, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So that maybe my older age, because maybe that's where I'll aspire to be. But I'm a GF guy. I mean, my oldest daughter, and I are both in the GF, so that's where my pinnacle is. That's where I sort of see myself finishing. But I don't think I'll ever fall out of love with Gerard Perregaux. I think that is for me, that is the artistic side of the high horology, and that's where I think that I think I'll be with them as a brand forever. So,
Lovely.
Well, Grupo Force is not a bad place to end your journey.
If that's going to be an exit watch, then that's not a bad decision.
And
it's unfortunately it's not one you can go and buy every day of the week. I mean, I've only got one, so and my daughter's got a couple of the lower. I mean, she's got two, so. But it's not one you can go and buy every day, is it?
But it's interesting that you mentioned them, because one common complaint about the watch is because they do have quite a bit of a following in people that are more into dress watches, but a lot of people complain about size. But given what you've said, it's a perfect fit for you, right? Because
absolutely,
it's a great size.
Yeah, look, I mean, and for me also, I mean, in the last 3 or 4 years, my tastes have sort of changed. I'm getting more into following, like, James just mentioned about Rec. I mean, I know Jonathan at Rec. I've started following the disruptors, the Microbrands. I'm interested to see what the smaller independent brands are going to be doing to disrupt the industry. I mean, we're getting to a stage now where there's only a few movement companies out there like Solitas and ETA, and I mean, we're starting to see more independence. I mean, I've got a watch coming from a very from an independent brand being made for me. So I'm getting more into that. I'm interested in seeing there's a couple of companies that are really starting to build really good quality fine watches, like bespoke type watches. So I'm taking a more interest into that sort of thing now, as opposed to the major brands.
Okay. Does something like a Roger Smith or a Philippe Defoe interest you?
Yeah, it does. I mean, I'm interested to see where Laurent Ferrier is going to end up. I think that, I mean, obviously FP Jones talked about a lot at the moment. There's a lot of talk. I don't own the FP. I don't plan on owning any FP. Once again, I appreciate the beauty. I can see the complication. I can see what, I mean, I've got a lot of guys in the community that I speak to that are over the moon about them and say, why haven't you got any yet? The honest truth is, because I choose not to. I've had the opportunity way back with Watchbox. They were offering them to me way before they became so popular. I just don't really. They're just not my style. As for right now, I think that the one that I will jump on next will be the Laurent Ferrier. Is what I will jump on.
Okay.
And I think that they've got some. What will happen with the brand is unknown, but I think they'll be absorbed. But David Cavo, he's the one that I'm in close contact with, and they've got he's got some very unique designs. But also, I found, I'll shoot you guys, and then we'll talk again, obviously, on the stream. But I found a guy in Holland who's manufacturing some great timepieces, which I would consider to be high horology, and we're talking watches that if I didn't tell you the price and presented them to you on the stream, you would think these are really expensive high horology pieces. But we're talking entry-level starting price of about 5,000 euros through to about 9,000 euros.
Wow.
And he's hand-making them in Holland.
Really?
I think I know who you mean. He's the guy that does he does some very ornate finishing watches.
Yes, he
too.
does. Kettler.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah, so I've been following him for some time. He was referred to me by somebody a very long time ago, but now he's got all his equipment set up because he was doing it all by hand before. So he's doing some great stuff. I mean, and look, obviously we are running obviously, obviously, guys know what I do. I'm in private equity, and I run a global private equity firm. But we are running a capital fund just for horology, and we have been looking at different brands and different things to invest in.
Mhm.
And we've found quite a few of these type of independents. And if you even look at what Way's been writing in Revolution for the past 6 to 9 months, there's quite a few emerging brands coming out of Europe, and especially, obviously, I moved back from LA to Paris to take on those European brands and to work with them quite strongly, because I mean, France has got a lot of emerging brands coming up.
Mm.
It's been written about quite, and nobody's really picked up on that. I mean, because a lot of brands have been repeated over, and the market keeps saying they want new brands, but we keep seeing the same old homages, the same old diver watches, the same old things popping up, the same cases, cookie cutter models, the same bracelets, the same everything. We're not, but what's really happening is that's coming all out of the US, but in the European side of things, we're starting to see the different stuff emerge.
Yeah,
and that's where the future is.
I wanted to touch on that, James. Your YouTube handle is the Timeless 168 Capital Fund, and that's actually your fund that you set up for horology, isn't it?
Yeah, that's our fun within our group. That it started as a bit of a hobby farm for me, because my girls are pushing me out of the way to take a back foot to the business. So I've obviously got a strong management team in place. So I set that up because my passion, like you guys, is watches, and being part of a watch community. I've got a fairly good collection, and I've spent a fair bit of money over the years in that collection. I'm setting up a bit of a watch museum in Paris in my private office, and some art installations.
Wow.
And which will all come to light. But I also wanted to design some technology around micro brands and macro brands. So what I deem to be a micro brand is the guy who is trying to design a watch out of his third bedroom and often tries to fund it on Kickstarter.
Yeah. So I was going to ask you, what started this interest in micro brands, and how long has that been going?
I think I got into it about 4 years ago, just through Kickstarter, I guess. Watching YouTube, I had some medical issues I dealt with. Spent a lot of time in hospital a couple of years ago, and I started I started buying watches off Kickstarter, micro brands. I guess a couple of hundred watches into these, Kickstarter type things, I started getting these shitty watches delivered, or half of them not funding, or people not delivering, and I realized that the business model for that was people working out of their third bedrooms offering watches, and then realizing they didn't have enough capital to finish the projects, or if they did, you get delivered this shitty watch in a shitty box, and they weren't business people as such. And then there's a few things surrounding that, which is a problem. I mean, they're offering people 1 year or 2 year or lifetime warranties, but they can't do that, because at the end of the day, they're just a one-man operation out of a bedroom. I mean, we might as well go and start a company now and call it Flip and Zippo, and start a watch and run it out of Flip and Zippo's lounge room, and tell everybody we're going to give a lifetime warranty, but then we'll shut the business down once we've delivered we've sold 500 watches, then shut the business down. So I decided that it was time, and also to get a product, so a prototype made, designed, the marketing done, the video shot, and get it to a stage where you can actually put it onto Kickstarter. You basically have got to spend about $25,000 to $30,000 US to even get to that stage, in order to bring a successful campaign. Then you got to pay fees to Kickstarter, fees to the branding company to brand, and in order for your campaign to be successful in the first place. And that's before you put any money aside to make any profit or to accrue any money for a warranty. So we decided that we would try to build a platform which would encompass all those things. So we built a marketplace, a social marketplace where microbrands could succeed, where they could sell their products, they could get funding, we could underwrite their warranty for them, and we could. And one of the key things for a new microbrand was to get their prototypes out to people for reviews. So we thought we would get a platform where we get reviews as well. So we were working on that platform. We got a fairly substantial grant from a couple of governments. So we've got offices running out of LA and Helsinki, and and out of our main offices out of Station F in Paris. And we were developing tech that we were going to launch on 1st of July this year. Unfortunately, a few setbacks occurred. Obviously, COVID.
Yeah.
And the fact that I was running it with Megan. Obviously, we've got a fairly substantial team and a collab team. So we're not going to launch it now until the 1st of January for those reasons.
Right.
But we've invested several $1 million into the actual development of that platform. And what will happen is not only will we put our microbrands that we've invested in ourselves under that platform, but any microbrand, like for example, Rec or Stratton, who you mentioned tonight, could join that platform for a fee. And it's basically a blockchain type technology platform.
Oh, right.
And what happens is once you're a user of the platform, we're not going to give discounts and sales and all those things that become unbelievable to people. We've already got we ran a beta version of it over the last 6 months. So we've got 23 or 24,000 users.
Fascinating.
In the US already. We're going to give away like a crypto type coin
bonuses, right?
Bonuses. So, if say for example you buy off Tocker, which Bruce was just mentioning, you can get rewards from buying off Tocker, but those rewards can be used then if you buy off Stratton, because everybody under the umbrella contributes.
Interesting.
So I'm going to send Thomas and Chris and Bruce and Anas the document, which is about how the whole structure works.
Fascinating.
But we've written some extensive details. It's very well mapped out. But look, it's designed to, once again, I'm a great believer that Microbrand is going to be a disruptor to the Swiss watch world. Because let's face it, most of the people in the community listening right now, people that listen to ID Guy, people that listen to most of the Rich Buddy and most of the YouTube streams, aren't in the market to buy a Rolex all the time. Aren't in the market to buy an AP.
Absolutely, It's expensive stuff, isn't it? It's expensive stuff to go out there and buy a £6,000, £7,000 watch. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like most people watching Porsche videos can't afford a Porsche. I mean,
definitely.
It's dream material.
It's fantasy stuff. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I mean, I personally believe, like you guys believe, that a watch enthusiast can be a person who owns one watch, and they're a watch enthusiast who goes every month and buys a watch magazine, like Revolution, for example. That makes them part of the watch community.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yep. So it's all about encouraging the community to be enthusiastic. Yeah.
A watch enthusiast can be someone with a Seiko who, just likes, exactly as James just said, you can go out and buy the magazines and keep up to date with what's on YouTube, and you can watch your Dinky, read your Dinky. You're in the community, you've got interest. It doesn't matter what's on your wrist. You can be into it without having to spend anything.
Yeah, and I think one thing that everybody needs to understand too is that there's no set minimum that you need to have a watch collection or to be into watches. Yep. You don't need like these five styles of watches: a diver, a chronograph, and even people that are in the market for higher end watches. Tim Mosso recently had a great video with Ariel Adams, and Tim was saying, even if you are a Rolex owner or an owner of whatever high-end watches. You're not buying that every month. And sometimes to sort of rekindle the passion in the hobby, sometimes you need to go out and buy like a watch because it's fun, not because it's horologically significant or anything like that. You know?
Correct.
Hey, listen, I went out last week, the week before. I went to go do my business banking. I went for a coffee, walked past a pre-owned shop, and I saw a 1957 Seamaster Trilogy in the window, and and bought it there and then. It wasn't a watch I was considering buying. It was just, it was
You're
fun.
crazy, James. I saw that story. You're crazy. Mate, that's what I do when I'm in hospital, mate, and I see something on a bloody watch box or something. I end up doing something stupid and go, oh, my God, another box coming.
Do you know what? Though? I did a stupid thing, a really stupid thing, because I bought the watch.
I see you went to go and sell it, mate, and you hadn't had it for a week.
Yeah, no, I've kept it. Because I was following the crowd. There was a bit of hate around Omega, and I thought, oh God, I've bought the wrong watch. And because I bought it in such a hurry, usually my watch purchases are quite well thought out. But with that one, because it was just so hasty and just so spur of the moment.
Didn't anybody tell you not to listen to the crowd, mate?
Yeah, well, do you know?
Look, never listen to all those people, or else you know what? You're going to
jealousy.
Yeah, and you're going to end up with the same 5 watches
that everybody else has. Yep.
I like to joke around. If you buy watches that you actually like, the worst that can happen is you end up with watches that you like and enjoy and make you happy. Right?
Yeah.
Good advice.
You don't have to please anybody else but yourself. And if you want to share your collection with people, share it because you're happy and you're confident in your collection. And if people don't like it, you know what? Don't worry about the haters. Haters are always going to hate.
Well, I've had a philosophy to my watch collecting since the day I started collecting watches, and and there's only one watch that I'll ever give leniency to this, and it's the Speedmaster. But any watch that I own has to be a watch that I can keep on my wrist for 24 hours straight without having to take off. So that includes showering, sleeping, working out, swimming, whatever it may be. So like all my tool watch collection, they're all watches that I would do all of those things in. The only one that I would exclude from that is the Speedmaster.
Really? See, I love that watch. I mean, I've got the trilogy set. I've got 2 sets of them actually, and I absolutely love that set. I mean, I think it's just obviously people make fun of Omega and all their limited editions and that, which once again I don't see why everybody gives Omega such a hard time. I know the CEO of Omega quite well, and I think that what Omega does with all the limited editions, it clearly works for them because they clearly sell out. It's like everybody's so excited for the Ed White, like yourself, James. It works. So if something's working, why change it? So
well, do you know what?
The Snoopy. Who wants a Snoopy? Everybody wants one.
Yeah,
they're going up and up in value.
Yeah, they keep it's really weird how people keep criticizing Omega, and what's really hilarious sometimes is you have a lot of these backseat drivers that actually think they can run a multi-billion-dollar company better than watch group, right? And they keep saying, this Omega again, and this is why Omega is never going to be number 1. But they sell out. They sell them out. And it's funny that you bring up the trilogy set, James, because when that came out, people were really, really going at it on Omega about that trilogy set. But
look what it's worth now.
Yeah, and they're amazing watches. And what's funny is that I know the new Ed White is really cool, and they've come out with new Seamasters and things like that. But for a while, I thought that trilogy set was one of the best editions of the Railmaster, the Speedmaster, and the Seamaster. They're just
the Railmaster's just a winner, isn't it?
Yep.
They're great watches. Amazing. And again, I don't think people that own 1 or 2 watches sitting at home in their basement in their pajamas should really be questioning how Hayek runs the Swatch Group.
The Swatch
right?
Group.
Yeah.
I think he knows how to run a watch company a little bit more than the common guy.
Well,
I
it's
got
interesting.
I got that
Sorry.
trilogy set when it was launched, and Megan, would you believe, found another set in December last year before Christmas, second hand, and she got it for like a song, sweet
Really?
as price.
Brilliant.
Wow.
Well, you see, that's the Seamaster that I bought, the 57 Seamaster that I bought. It, I've openly said it. I purchased that for 3,800,
Which is a very good price.
Yeah, exactly, and that's why I
the
bought
best
it.
price I've seen that for is about 43.
Yeah. So I knew I was on the right side of the watch. I knew I was on the right side of it when I bought it. But then, I did a stupid thing. I mean, I've been into watches long enough and been into the watch community long enough not to listen to other people's opinions. But for some reason, I succumbed and thought, oh, do you know what? And it wasn't until last night I took the bracelet off the watch. I was giving it a clean because I had a guy coming today to come and look at it and potentially buy it. And I just emailed him and said, look, do you know what? I've decided to keep it because I was taking. And I thought, what the hell am I doing? Why am I listening to other people?
I don't look at watches as investments, James, but I think that is definitely a watch that will go up in value.
Yeah.
I mean, and as I said, I have never sold a watch. I've given watches away as gifts. I've never sold a watch. Megan will flip a watch if she's bought one and it's not what she thought it was when she bought it. She'll flip it straight away. Other than that, she keeps them. But I would say to you, and I'm not. As I said, I'm not the best person for investment advice because I don't see watches in that manner. But I would say to you that, in fact, the ID guy sent me some information about that particular watch recently. I would say to you that watch will definitely go up in value from what you paid for it. If you want to get rid of it later, I think the timing now is wrong. I think you'll make at least $1,500 on that watch if you wait.
If I'm honest, I mean, for me, I'm someone who I don't have unlimited funds, so I can't keep everything I buy. But everything I buy is something that I like. And I mean, I was going to ask you the question because I have private messaged Megan about it. I've been looking at, as you know, the Ed White, but I've also been looking at the 1966 Speedmaster Professional with the 321 movement in. And what's your take on between the two watches? Would you advise somebody to go into the proper vintage, or would you advise someone to go into a reissue like the Ed White that's coming out from Omega?
Well, the 66, the 321, obviously, if you can get your hands on one for the right price, obviously, and you've got the funds, but there's a couple of cautionary things I'd say, and that is it would have to be checked properly. It wouldn't be a watch you'd just buy. You'd have to have it cleared, checked, made sure it's been serviced. I mean, because the money you'd spend on that for anything to go wrong, you could overpay. Vintage is such a fine line to get wrong, and if you get it wrong, and especially look, let's face it, none of us have got unlimited money to spend on luxury items, regardless of. I mean, to me, regardless of what I have, $10 is $10, okay, and that's what I teach my girls as well. So, I would say that yes, if you can get yourself the original, of course, get the original. But let's take. I mean, and look, Megan or myself can advise you. We've got contacts everywhere, from the US, UK through to obviously Europe. It has to be checked properly. You can't burn your cash.
Yeah.
But look, I mean, I think that I'm on the list. I'm on the list to get one fairly soon. Obviously, I've got good connections with Way and the CEO. I'm grabbing one. I think I'd want to wear that watch backwards, to be honest with you, the Ed White.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, it's just an absolutely stunning, beautiful movement.
Yeah.
I want to wear it the other way around. If not, I just want to hold it in my hand at my desk while I'm working and just look at the back of the movement. Yeah, just once again, it comes back to what you can get the 66 for. I mean, I know she's doing some digging around for you at the moment on that subject. So,
yeah.
she'll come back to you. But
yeah, no, I appreciate that. Thank you. Because
I mean, it's just a hard one because you can be conned as in the vintage business as quickly as anything, as you know.
Right.
I wanted to ask you, James, and you vary about making horology accessible to everyone at fair price points, aren't you? And
yes, indeed, I am.
Yeah, it seems to be your philosophy, which is a very good one. And I also wanted to ask you about women and watches. And you saying to me earlier on that women may keep watches alive because they wear more jewelry, and because smartphones are so dominant and sort of overtaking. It would be a real shame if watches got sort of made obsolete, and women with the seem to be the spirit that we're keeping it alive by wearing more jewelry and wearing more watches. And do you see?
They keep us going on everything else, so they might as well keep us going with watches.
Oh, I guess that's one of my pet hates, Thomas, is the fact that being a father, firstly, the fact that women are not broadly accepted into the watch community. I mean, obviously, I have two daughters that have grown up since the very young age, and they've started collecting watches. World War II dirty dozen pieces at flea markets, moved into collecting Rolex vintage.
Sure.
Obviously, they've both gone different ways in their watch collecting strategy. Very different ways. But both in good directions. But I don't care in terms of watches. What the market buys. If it's a fashion watch, a quartz watch, an automatic watch, a Microbrand, a Macrobrand, a Rolex, a Swiss brand, or a high horology. I think that it's very important that we keep. It's like a car dealer saying, keeping a bum on the seat of a car. And as we move from petrol to electric motor vehicles, the Porsche moved from, I'm a Porsche guy, from the Porsche moved to the Taycan, which is the electric Porsche. Well, I think it's really, really important that we keep watches on wrists. So that means fashion watches. And I think the generation moving forward, what I am so concerned about, and hence the reason for the technology platform, microbrands or macrobrands. So macrobrand being like a Zealous,
right?
We spoke about earlier, because they're well established and they sell out very quickly.
Right.
What I'm very, very concerned about is our next generation of youth. So even people like my daughter, my youngest daughter, who start calling the watches that we love so much and we're so passionate about, calling them dumb watches. I see so many other YouTubes, especially when I watch a lot of technology YouTubes as well, because obviously my firm invests in property. We do a lot of property, obviously, and those other things. We also invest in a lot in tech, so we have a lot of tech investments. So I watch a lot of tech YouTubes, like Unbox, Mark Brown, all those sort of things.
Right.
And when I start hearing all these terms like dumb watches, it really, really grates on me. It upsets me greatly. And I think that women and fashion are what could be the one singular thing that will carry us through, because women, when they get dressed, they accessorize with jewelry. And so therefore fashion watches, be it quartz fashion watches, and we've got some really exciting projects coming up that we've been working on for 2 years. We're waiting on some trademarks, and some of you will know how difficult trademarks and global trademarks can be to obtain.
Right.
That will be very directed at females, that will keep watches on the wrists of females, and hopefully unisex as well. And all my agenda is to keep as many wristwatches on the wrists of people.
Absolutely.
I don't care what they are. They can
Right.
be fashion, quartz, automatics, micro brands, but that's what my agenda is.
And
That is awesome.
Making that accessible, as you say, a good price point.
Yeah, like as you see with the Aragon watches, as you can see with the Ingersoll, we try to get good quality watches. We stick to the Seiko movement sometimes, the NH35s, the Mayoda movement. We go to a higher price point with the SS 200 Solitas. We'll move to get into higher horology microbrands. We'll go into the SW300s, 330s, the SW500s. So we're not going to be all about cheap watches. We're going to offer, but we offer quality as well. I mean, we're not going to stick to this cookie cutter model of buying cases, buying bands anybody can do. We want to have points of difference. But I think the other thing that is important is that, as I said before, not everybody can afford to be buying watches. So our platform is also going to be about accessorizing. And so if you've got a watch, let's come up with NATO straps, good quality Hawaiian leather straps, and do videos about how you can change the look and appearance of your current watch. So that you can dress up your current watch, because not everybody has got deep pockets. We're going to be going through some very difficult economic times moving forward. People, we've got some high unemployment rates across the globe. So let's not always be putting in everybody's face, making them feel bad that they can't afford to buy a new watch. Let's do videos and let's do things about talking, even on the streams. You guys can help. James, you've got your channel. Flip and Zipper, you got your channel. Let's do some stuff talking about how we can go to Aragon, we can buy a box of NATOs for $30-something, and you've got 5 different new looks for your watch.
Correct.
Absolutely, yeah.
There are things
Accessorizing,
to make people feel better about themselves, to dress their watch up. We don't have to always be talking about a new watch, or let's make people feel good about the watch they've got still.
Well, it's interesting you say that, because I've promoted before on mine a company here in the UK, which is Gecko Watches. I don't know if you come across them.
I've heard of them. They're very good with some of that stuff.
Yeah, they're really good, and they're really well priced. They sell some really cool NATOs for like £15-18, that sort of thing. And I've got a box full of them.
That's expensive, James.
It's expensive.
Yeah, that's expensive.
I thought £15 to sort of give you watch an entire new look, because I have a box full of their NATOs, and I absolutely love them. And I've got some of the leather straps, some of the NATOs, some of the Zulus, and sort of play around with them on different watches. And I've even done it recently with with my Black Bay, and I've just put it on a different NATO strap, and a nice blue NATO strap, and it gives it a completely different vibe, a completely different look. But the same can be said for a lot of the Amigas. You can swap and change straps over so easily, and I think it's something that's a shame that Rolex isn't a watch that's that easy to do with a Rolex, and I think that's a shame.
It's not. I mean, Thomas can tell you the story. Did Megan tell you the story about me and my Rolex in the hospital?
No.
I was getting because I obviously wasn't groomed. I kept getting frustrated because I kept catching my watches in my beard, and I was pulling out my hairs. So I had to put rubber straps on them. So, and as James says, putting Rolex don't give you many options unless you get an oyster flex or you get a rubber bead.
Right.
So it's very, but as he says, with Amiga, you can. Amiga have great NATOs too, James, don't they?
Yeah. Really, I've got a few for my Moonwatch, for my Speedmaster. I have a few, and they do just such versatile watches, and especially when it's the 20mm lug, and you can just switch them out. It's cool.
So there are sort of videos I think right now, and with what we're if you want to get views per channel and do videos, I think that some of those videos will go a long way in the Google search engine, especially with people. Because let's face it, people aren't feeling good about themselves. People aren't feeling good about their wallets, about their financial stresses at the moment, and talking more about those sort of subjects, about how you can dress up or dress down, or even how you can clean your watch, protect your watch. Those sort of things I think will go a long way with the community at the moment, because I think, I've been watching a lot about the economic times, and let's face it, it's tough out there. I don't know what's going on in the UK, but I obviously see what's going on in a lot of other markets and what's going on in our business. And look, I mean, my people, I've got a fairly substantial staff across the world, and let me tell you, it's all doom and gloom, and we're paying our people, but then mentally they're not doing well because they're all at home, and then they're isolated. And
yeah, well, I was going to say COVID's had a great impact, hasn't it? And
I'll be honest.
I know all about that. That's for sure.
Bruce knows about that, and I mean, a lot of other people do. They're feeling the impacts, and they're losing jobs all left, right, and centre, and it's going to be very hard for them to find jobs. And that was going to be another point I was going to ask you about, James. Do you think that it's going to have a huge impact on the industry, the COVID situation that we've encountered?
I had a look at the watch figures for last month. The Swiss figures for the imports exports. And to be perfectly honest with you, I had to put them down. They were shocking. Probably the worst I've ever seen.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah. And a good friend of mine provides them to me. He's got contacts. He gets the reports, breaks it down by brand, by segments in the marketplace, by all those sort of things. It's interesting because Hong Kong used to act as a distribution point for the Chinese market, which is a huge, and even that is massively down, which is a reflection on China. So let's the previous figures were considerably down, but these figures are even much worse. But talking to a lot of guys that I know in the industry that are in the grey market and secondhand pre-owned, they're talking their numbers are strong.
Right. Well, selling wise or buying wise?
Selling wise.
Right. Interesting.
Because what's happening is guys like me are coming along and taking advantage of the opportunities.
Right.
I've noticed over here in the UK, a lot of the people that own pre-owned watch stores, whether the stores are online, who I know, they're getting watches in and they're moving them quite quickly, and they're not putting them up at bargain prices. They're putting them up at fair prices, going rate, and they're selling them quite quickly. But one thing I have noticed, and I don't know if anyone else has found this. I mean, Flipping, you may have, but I've had emails from people throughout COVID. We're talking about the watch hobby. We're talking about COVID. The people that have emailed and thanked me and other people who have been on the channel for the live streams, for the watch talk, because it's helping people through this time. And it has for me. I mean, talking to you guys and doing this sort of thing, it's helped me no end get through the COVID lockdown and all that.
It's certainly helped me tremendously. I mean, I don't think, being unemployed for so long and first being locked down and not knowing, what's going to happen the next day, and being separated from friends and family, being able to communicate online with so many people all around the world. It's in the span of 4 months now. I have friends now, that I never could have had before. It's been a wonderful thing, and it helps take the stress away. It really does.
Absolutely, and that's what I've been getting feedback from people. So we're talking about the watch hobby. Being part of the community isn't just about buying a watch. Yes, it's a nice thrill, and yes, it's a nice experience. But I think being able to communicate on this level with so many people, and whether it's helping people or just talking watches, I know on some of the other platforms we have a laugh and do you know what I mean? It's all pack and parcel, and I think it's helped so many people through probably the most difficult time of their life.
Agreed. Yeah.
Trying to get through all this mess. Which I think that speaks volumes for the community. You're always going to get your trolls. You're always going to get your haters. You're always going to get your well, I won't swear, but you know what I mean. You always get those people. But when you've got genuine people, and that's why I promote Flipping's channel where I can, because this is the place for true watch enthusiasts and people who genuinely want to, because it appreciates everything from a £15 Casio all the way up to £100,000 or £200,000, whatever. Do you know what I mean? You've got the full range, and a true watch enthusiast understands that it is everything from a £15 Casio up to a hundreds of £1,000 brand.
Amen.
Absolutely.
Good evening, everyone. By the way.
Hi, David. Sorry.
Hi, David.
I've just been sitting here listening. Forgot I was actually in there.
Welcome. Yeah.
Yep.
I fairly new to the hobby in general, and new to the community, and it's been an incredible learning experience so far. And
hey, Flip, your channel's been fantastic through all this.
It's everyone else's efforts, really. I can't believe how fortunate I've been. It's been a blessing, this COVID thing, in certain ways.
Yeah, definitely. I would agree.
No.
I agree with you, because the one thing that I've taken from COVID is I have my own business, and I'm always very busy with business, because I've got a few branches that I have to travel about between, and I get very little time to spend with family. And I've got a young daughter, and to be able to spend the time at home with my daughter, my wife, and spend quality time of just them, that's been my blessing. And I think that's given me a new aspect on life, and it's given me a new aspect on how I look at my working life. I'm certainly not going back to work to earn money and to just push the business as hard as I can. I'm going back to work to create a lifestyle that I want to live. And I think COVID has taught some lessons. I think it's taught some life lessons.
I think that COVID will change everybody's lives, unfortunately, and will teach us all to appreciate what we have and to appreciate life in a different way.
That's exactly what happened to me. COVID hit. I think I continued with the channel a couple of weeks into COVID, and I think everything just realigned for me. Priorities completely changed, and I just decided to shut everything down, pretty much. Just do my own thing. I think COVID made me realise that what I was doing didn't make me happy. I think being quite a perfectionist with the channel, trying to do that and a full-time job at the same time, especially during COVID when I'm worrying on the side that I'm going to lose my job, it wasn't a healthy place.
Look, happiness to David is the most important thing, unfortunately. I mean, there's no point living a life that's not bringing us happiness. I mean, I've always said to my team and to my family, the day you can't bounce out of bed loving what you do is the day you should have stopped doing it. So
yeah, good advice. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only problem for me during COVID was in the early stages of COVID, my business was very much focused on footfall through the door, and I had to learn very, very quickly to transfer my business online. And I did, and I learned that quite quickly, and I did it. And then once we got a few weeks into COVID, and I saw that the business was by no means thriving. It was struggling, but it was struggling on. It was going to survive it, but in the first couple of weeks, I didn't know if my business was going to survive COVID. Yeah. But now it's back open, and to be honest, temporarily it's thriving because we're picking up the work that we didn't have before. But it'll level back out again, and I think it'll take us a year or so to get it back to where it would have been. But we've still all got jobs. None of my teams had to be laid off, and we've all been thankfully COVID free, and we've all spent time with our families. So I've taken it as a bit of a blessing. In that sense.
At least you've got the opportunity to get it in a year's time to get it where it would have been.
Yeah.
Got the opportunity. It's good.
Yeah, I mean, over here, we just put an advert out for a new member of staff, and we had like 35 applications in the space of like 2 hours. Wow. And when you read the CVs and you read the emails, it was because people have been laid off, people have been made redundant, and so I don't think we're seeing it in the UK yet, but I think in the next few weeks we're going to start seeing some, because the UK is starting to withdraw some support, the UK government starting to withdraw some support from employers, and this is where I think a lot of companies are using COVID as a reason to get rid of any dead wood and to sort of streamline their businesses. And there's going to be some big unemployment figures coming up, I think.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
So as a consequence, the watch industry will suffer.
Yes. I think any luxury industry will suffer.
Yeah.
I think the reality is the watch industry is a luxury item. I mean, that's just the reality about it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah.
As much as we love them and it's our passion and it's our hobby, they are a luxury item. And, if it comes to feeding a family or having a Rolex slapped on your wrist, what comes first?
The Rolex, right? Is it the Rolex, or is that wrong?
Well, I was also
the
thinking,
Rolex, the Omega, whatever the brand may be, David.
yeah, I was also thinking the microbrands, though, James, as well. I mean, they're going to suffer. Do you think these startup companies that are trying to start up may? Oh, he's dropped off.
Oh,
Have we lost James?
Yes.
Oh, that's a shame.
Oh, what a shame.
Fascinating guy.
Yeah,
Very much so. Very refreshing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, James,
We have been on for 3 hours. We're yet again giving ID guy a run.
For his money. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll give James a minute to see if he
to see if he wants to come back on. Otherwise, then we should probably wrap it up. Tom needs to eat dinner and.
So Blue Shirt.
He's back.
He's back.
Hey, James. I must have dropped out, did I?
You did.
Yeah.
I
No
heard
worries.
Thomas saying something about microbrands, and then it dropped.
Yeah, I was just saying that although we were saying that luxury brands might suffer, do you also think that the microbrands, I mean, the people who are trying to start up companies offering watches on a budget, they will suffer as well? The people who are starting up.
I think one of the benefits that we can offer with the microbrand is the fact that because they're a few $100s as opposed to thousands of dollars, it's something people can save for. And I think also we're seeing more and more of these, the PayPals, the Afterpays, the Zip Pays, that we can offer them those type of payment programs as well, where they can pay for them over an extended period, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 6 months, without them breaking a budget, and they can have that new shiny item. So we're talking about items here. Like, I mean, you've gone through some of those watch brands today, and we're talking about items that are $200, $300, $400, and we're going to also have some really great starting offers of $99 or $150, or sometimes you can sacrifice a couple of packs of cigarettes or a dinner, or
right.
We're not talking about having to save for 7,000 quid for a starting model Rolex or something. So, I mean, I'm talking in quid because I talk in euro or US dollars.
Yeah,
But,
it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what currency you're talking. We get the idea. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So we're talking generally a micro brand watch. Where, even though you see these ridiculous Kickstarter watches where they're trying to get $500 US for an NH35 watch coming from a third bedroom in somebody's house who's never run a business before. We're talking about well-established brands here that are trying to get $200 to $300 for a decent watch with a warranty. I mean, and we're producing some great quality products. I mean, you guys have tested. I mean, you guys have got some of these watches yourselves now, and you can see
absolutely.
You can see the quality. I mean, if you were the QA inspectors of some of these watches, have you been able to find faults with them as far as packaging, defects? I mean, do they pass the test?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the daily wearers for me now. I've put away a lot of my luxury watches, and I'm just wearing these ones that the Aragons and the Ingersolls and the things like that now. They're my daily wearers.
It's funny you say that, because one of the watches that I wear the most is my military industries watch, which is running I think it's running a Seiko movement inside, and that watch
NH35 probably.
Yeah, I think it cost me about £90, £100, something like that. But it's an absolute brick. And I even did. The video's been taken down now, but I did a video. It was very, very boring viewing. But I rotated the bezel on that watch, I think 500 times, to see what the bezel was like after 500 turns. And the bezel was still tight. It didn't have any play in it. The watch is an absolute brick, and I wear that watch for any rough. You know, if I'm out in the woods or if I'm really doing some sort of like off-roading stuff or whatever, I wear that watch, and it still runs plus or minus 10 seconds a day. And it's it's £100, and it's an automatic watch,
right?
And it's an absolute fantastic watch, but it was £100. And I know a lot of YouTubers will classify them as shitters and whatever, but you know, it's what floats your boat. It's what floats your boat. You don't have to enjoy your £10,000 Rolexes
absolutely.
I mean, these Seiko movements, James, I mean, they're workhorses. I mean, that's why they're used typically in microbrands, and why Seiko as a watch company sell millions and millions of watches. I mean, these Seiko movements are workhorses. They don't break down. They're designed to do what you say. When you've given it 500 turns, that's nothing for a Seiko movement.
Right.
Oh no! Sorry, when I say 500, I mean on the bezel, not on the.
The bezel. The same. Once again, same. Seiko. Yeah. I mean, and Seiko. I mean, people complain that sometimes the Seiko bezels don't line up and so forth. But I mean, look at the price point of a Seiko. I mean, that overall, they are a great watch for the entry level price that they are. You get what you pay for, and you got people who have got Seiko, whatever the XKX, whatever it is, they've had them for 10 years and they're still going strong.
Correct.
Yeah, I mean I've found that a lot of my luxury watches that I put away, I've found the Aragons and the budget watches like that are replacing things like the sub. You know, they're matching that sort of. I'm used to that quality now. They're equaling that sort of standard. I'm used to it now.
I'm gonna have to check some of these out. They sound pretty good. I saw some earlier actually when I was watching. They do look quite nice.
It's funny because I've put some of mine. I put some of mine to one side, and particularly the Rolex. But I would rather wear on a daily basis my Amigas than I would my Rolex. But I won't part with the Rolex because to me, there's something that I'm going to end up leaving to my daughter. So, you know, it'll end up paying for her wedding one day. Or it'll end up being a deposit on a house or whatever it may be. But yeah, I thought if I was to pick a brand which I enjoy the most, it would be Amiga. That's sort of what my knowledge is surrounding, is primarily Amiga. But you know, whether it be the Seamaster, the Speedmaster, whichever one it may be, I love them. I absolutely love them. But I also like, and the one that I'm looking out for is a really nice example of the quartz Seamaster from the GoldenEye movie.
Yeah,
oh yeah, that's a nice watch.
Well, that's an icon for like 1,500 quid.
But they started as a quartz, didn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it did.
And you know, it's a beautiful watch.
Was that 2001 or 96?
96.
96. That's right. Yeah, that started as a quartz. That's a beautiful watch. It's got the big wart on the side, of course.
Yeah. But you see, as an Amiga fan and specifically a Seamaster fan, the wart on the side, I'd be disappointed if they lost it.
Yeah, it's an icon. It's an iconic watch.
Yeah. But you know, and I say to people, if anyone's ever asking me, you know, because I do get, you know, I don't get the emails that some of the big channels will get, but I do get maybe 2 emails a week or something, and people ask me questions, and it might be, I've got £1,500 to spend. What do you think I should buy? And you know, that would probably be the one that I would direct them to, because I think it's just an awesome watch for the money.
Yeah, I agree. I think that is it's timeless, that watch.
Yeah.
That was Timothy Dalton, wasn't it?
No, Pierce Brosnan.
Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah,
That's
Pierce
right.
Brosnan.
Sorry, I get those two confused all the time.
Timothy Dalton's first outing, he wore a Tag Heuer, and his second outing, he wore a 16610 Submariner.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, so in the Living Daylights, he wore a Tag Heuer, and I forget the reference, but it's the one with the white dial. And then in his second appearance in License to Kill, he wore the 16610 Submariner date. Sorry, I'm a Bond fanatic, that's probably what...
We couldn't tell, James.
Yeah, you're very good with the references there.
Yeah, I like my Bond watches, and it's, to be honest, that's what got me into Amiga in the first place, because it was back. I was a Tag Heuer and Breitling guy, and then in 2012, when they launched Skyfall, the 42mm Planet Ocean with the caliber 8500, that was worn on the wrist of Daniel Craig in that movie, and that was my first Amiga back in 2012. And then that was it for me. I was just sort of hooked on Amiga from there.
Nice watches, those Planet Oceans.
Very nice.
Yeah, they're very
James, James Showcase watches. Is that the one?
No, I think no. That one's pre-Bond.
Okay.
That's the pre-Bond Seamaster,
Okay.
which again is a fantastic value watch.
Mhm.
It is.
That one in particular, my friend's husband was gifted that by a neighbor. He is a diver.
Oh, beautiful! Yeah.
Yeah.
So the early Seamasters, I believe, they were on ETA movement, and then they went. I think the first in-house, I think they went on to the caliber 2500. I think that wasn't an ETA, that was a variation of another. I forget which movement it was, and then it was the 8500, which was in the Planet Ocean, was the first proper in-house Amiga movement, and then from there they went on to all the 8000 series and 9000 series and so on. So it was great to Amiga there.
I must say, is it getting too late for you now? It's quite late where you are now, isn't it? Are you wanting to go have a rest, or are you?
We're past the 3-hour mark.
Are you okay to carry on?
You referring to me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't want to keep you.
I'm cool if you guys are.
Yeah, well, we're okay. Yeah.
We certainly appreciate your time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Thank you for having me. I'm fine.
Oh, anytime. You're always welcome.
It's nice to see Clams joined us again, and
guys, I might call it.
Okay, then.
A day myself. I think I should go cook some dinner for the kids.
Yeah.
So it was great talking to you, James, and the other James, and David, and Clam, and Thomas, Blue Shirt, Flippin'.
Yeah.
Everybody in the
nice
chat.
talking to you, NS.
Nice talking to you.
So,
Take it easy.
Take care, guys, and
see you
next time.
Take care, NS. Thanks.
Thanks for joining us.
Take care, buddy.
I think one thing that's really refreshing to hear, and it's one thing that I'm certainly going to take away from this stream, is it's nice to hear someone like James on the channel who's clearly got a beautiful collection, and he's got some beautiful watches, but he can also show the just respect and promote the lower end. When I say lower end, I mean lower price point. I think it's refreshing because there's so many YouTubers out there that if it doesn't cost 5,000 or over, they don't want to know. It's not worth talking about. It's such a welcome change to hear somebody that's actually properly into it. From the bottom end up to the top end, and just into the full spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it took me a while to get there, James. I think like you, like everybody, I think it's something you have to experience. So. I think at one particular point, or for a long while, I was a bit of a watch snob as well. So, AP, Hubert, Rolex man, Pam fanboy, and then I had to go through the journey as such to experience microbrands for myself. The good, the bad, the ugly, and got to a point where I can respect and appreciate the passion that these these 1-2 man operators go through to get to where they are. And now, I'm hooked, addicted as such. Like, we're all addicted to the collecting of watches and the passion of the industry of it. and it's just another string in the bow, I guess, to the addiction of watch collecting.
Yeah, absolutely.
James, I want to thank you from, our family, because we watched your videos over the past few years, and that Zelos, the Mako, that when they came out with that teal, I know I wanted the teal, but I wanted it thinner and I wanted it just the right thing. When they came out with that latest version in I believe it was January or December of last year, I purchased it with the Discord's help. I was like, look, this is the watch I've been looking for. I purchased it. It was sold out in one day. I received it, and it's the whole package for the money that I was willing to spend right before what happened. And when I received it, it was an amazing piece. And so for us lower tier guys, we appreciate all the effort and all the time that you put into your reviews. And thank you very much from Lucian and I and his mother, of course.
You're welcome. No, they've been the swordfish. I mean, look, I would consider the Zelos brand to be a macro brand. I mean, as you know, that they sell out very quickly. It's a very well established brand. It's got a spin-off brand too as well now, which as well. So there's a fantastic brand which is going from strength to strength, and unfortunately, there's not enough of them produced to actually keep a strong supply of them any longer.
Correct. And I think that's part of their strategy of the marketing, keep the numbers low.
It'd be nice to think that, but unfortunately, it's just it's hard to calculate numbers because you want to keep a price point to keep them selling without getting them up. So the key to micro brands or macro brands is really to keep a price point that $300 category. I mean, that particular model was $269. So you want to keep a price point around there. It's like the helm. I don't know if you had a look at the helm watches. The same thing. We kept the price point around the $299 mark. They sell out within 1 hour, 2 hours, like the Vanuatu's and all those type watches, which are really good as well.
Mm-hmm.
You want to keep the price point there to keep your loyal customers happy, and that way you sort of come out every quarter with a new watch, and everybody gets a share in getting a new watch. But if you want to produce the numbers to keep your customers and get a few new ones without overproducing.
Yeah, it keeps the momentum going, doesn't it?
Yeah, but there's the fine line in production where you produce that number and that's the price point, and with labor, packaging, and so forth. That then you sometimes want to produce that other number, but then your labor goes up, which means the price point can't be maintained. Sounds strange, but that's the way it works.
Yeah, interesting.
And the later models have moved up in price, and of course they've been able to add some refinement there, and so I think they're moving up along with the rising tide. All boats rise with the rising tide. So I appreciate their business model and looking over every piece before they send it out as well.
Well, quality control is very important, but there's also things that there's still some things, like sanctions with the Chinese and government, and which obviously we're keeping the model with the packaging is very important. One of the things with all micro brands to me, which is important, is keeping the packaging functional. So when a watch goes out, the packaging is functional to be used for something else, like especially the Zelos brand, you get the watch roll and the wooden box. So moving forward, I want all micro brands to have a functional packaging so that it can be used. No point seeing out these boxes and cardboard boxes and things that become not useful. I want the packaging to be part of the brand so that it can be used in or repurposed as such in your home or to be as a storage item, or some of our other brands have a watch winder with them. Yeah, there's all types of things that we're going to be doing in the future with our watches. The watch roll and the wooden box is a good idea.
I appreciate the Horween leather that it came with. I didn't put it on that. It came with just the regular strap. And then I bought the steel, and it came with the Horween leather. So I didn't put it on Horween leather until 2 weeks ago, and it made the watch a whole new watch. So, my son's like, "Oh, what's this?" And now he's trying to grab it off of my wrist, and it's little things like that don't cost much can make a big, huge difference.
Like James was saying, accessorizing can bring a whole new life to your watch. You can,
definitely,
And the Horween leather is actually a very, very good quality. I mean, it's a high grade.
It's amazing. I've got it on the Ingersoll that I've just received, and it's beautiful quality leather. It's
Horween.
I think it's Indonesian, isn't it, James?
Yeah, we've got a couple. Well, our scrap suppliers, both of them, are actually from Indonesia.
Horween also has a plant in Chicago.
Yeah, do they really? It probably costs us too much there, though, Chris.
Yeah,
would be cost effective.
The tannery there,
James. So just one thing we haven't touched on in regards to microbrands. I mean, I know, like with Omega, Rolex, and some of the big players, they've got into the movies, and like Omega, NASA, their relationship, etc., etc. Obviously, would you put that as one of the biggest players in the watch? I mean, if you take a company like Tudor, for instance, who are pretty hot right now, and they're bringing out these watches, and they're bringing out real good quality products at what I would classify quite a reasonable, affordable price, relatively speaking, in terms of the bigger, the top stuff, like 10 grand or whatever. Would you say if a company gets in with the right branding or gets in with the right movie franchise, is that what makes a watch brand? Is that what's going to sort of take them to the next level and give them the funding to put back into advertisement, put them back into production and in-house movements and so on and so forth?
Well, the reality about licensing and movies, James, is that you as the consumer are paying for it. So if we want to maintain a price point which is affordable to consumers, and we want, for example, we've got a watch brand out of Hong Kong, which we've got a NASA licensing agreement on, which I'll get Thomas to feature on the show next week. It's 4 watches with NASA on it. We pay a licensing fee on that, which means you as the consumer pay for that. One of our other watch brands we recently had in a movie. We supplied the watches in the movie for the whole movie, and it was actually on Bruce Willis's wrist, all our watches for the whole movie. So again, you as the consumer pay for that. I've had previous experience in my days with another investment, and with an Australian actor who's used to be in Prison Break, and a friend of mine. And once again, you pay for that. We pay for him, and you as a consumer, it goes back into our marketing allowance, which means it goes onto the cost of the watch.
Right.
So for me, I don't look at things as far as return of investment. I look at things as far as return on relationships. So I guide my management team to build long-term relationships with people, and I'm happy to give away free product. I'm happy to build on relationships and get a return on relationships, like I do with the Flip and Zippo and these guys, and do with ID Guy and many other people around the world. But I'm not wanting to invest money in license agreements and things where you might get a glimpse of something, which is not going to really have anybody buy anything from us. I would rather appear on a YouTube channel or on Hot Wings, for example, or get involved with a whole bunch of YouTube vloggers that aren't in the watch industry, which is the strategy Megan's currently working on, or with some Netflix people or whatever, to feature our products, as opposed to by giving away our products or sponsoring our round content, as opposed to having the stature of, guess what? Did you see our watch on that TV program?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not our go.
It doesn't
It's funny.
Sorry,
Sorry.
Graham. No, go for it.
I was just going to say, it's what you just described there is pretty much what my business is based on, because with my trade, we rely very much on other people promoting our brand and our things. But what we do is we will regularly send them. So the latest thing we sent out was a £200 Harrods hamper to the different people that do this for us, and then we always do it with a follow-up call and a chat, and we'll go out for a beer with them, and we'll entertain 3 or 4 times a year, and it's and that's how we run it, and so we don't have a advertising budget as such, but what we do have is an entertaining budget, so we can entertain and we can give back to the people that give to us. So what you've just said there is pretty much exactly, I fully get that.
We believe in word of mouth, or we believe in what we call WOMO, word of mouth online. So I might say to one of my people, why don't we send out 100 watches this week? For example, for Timeless Capital, because we're in a lot of other things. We're in mobile chargers, we're in so many other things. So I might say, let's just send out to recruiting agencies 100 charges this week, with a note from me or a note from our CEO or whatever, personal handwritten note or whatever. So that's how we might conduct ourselves, because as I said, we believe in what we call RRR, which is return on relationship, not return on investment. So we have a collab team, a marketing team, graphic design team. So we basically do targeted marketing. Look, basically what you're doing by doing a Harrods gift hamper, but we actually do specific targeted marketing for vertically. So, and we try to come up with unique strategies. Like, for example, obviously, if you look at our name, Timeless 168 Capital Fund, 168. Do you know what that means?
No.
I found out the other day. It's great. But tell us, please, James.
It means 168 hours in a week.
Okay.
Brilliant, isn't it?
So we've got a clock. We've got a clock like this wooden clock that has a normal clock on it. And
Right.
we have a bigger clock on it, which is 168 hours with our name on it, that we send out to clients. So one clock ticks down the week, and one clock ticks down normal 12 hours.
Amazing.
Interesting. That is
Brilliant.
very neat.
Amazing.
I like that. That's yeah. That's
so
unique.
we just try to. I can't take the credit for it. It wasn't my idea, but I'd love to. But I think it's fantastic. But so we've come up with. Everybody has you. I mean, whatever business you're in, if you're in a bakery, if you're in a coffee shop, we all can come up with unique marketing ideas. It's just a matter of. I mean, I'm a great believer in human capital. I'm not the smartest guy in my team, but I try to find the smartest people I can to work with.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That 100%. I mean, if my business was left to me, it would still be me working on my own in a workshop. We took the right people on, and they're the ones that they've grown the company, and we pay them accordingly. We appreciate them for what they've done. And, 100%. You've got to appreciate the people you've got.
Well, it's been fascinating discussion. It's
Absolutely
brilliant. Yeah.
I said in the chat a while ago, it's been the best stream I've either participated in or watched. It genuinely has. It's been fascinating.
It has.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
we thank you so much, James, for your time.
Thank you, James. Yeah, and Lucian's got himself a new watch, and he's that's been brilliant to have Clam on, and Lucian, and got Junior Punter.
Exactly.
It's been a special day.
It has. It's been a
great
great
special day. I want I want to just say thank you all. You know, Thomas, Blue Shirt, Flippin', you know, everyone and all of your followers have been nothing but wonderful, and you know, have sent nothing but positive, you know, messages to my son and my family. So I want to thank you all, and from my heart. This is a huge thing for someone like him and like me. And so I just want to say thank you before I get off of here. And it's just been a blessed day. So bless you all. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Showcase, Junior, all of your content goes into people like my son, like myself, who are, you know, just starting into this. And we appreciate that, you know, you can do what you did. It's just amazing. So thank you so much from the bottom of our heart. We love that. Thank you.
Oh, you're more than welcome.
You take care, man.
I'd like to think that's what the community's about, to be honest with you, Pam, and that we can all pull together and support each other when times are hard, you know, and that's what it's all about, really.
Absolutely.
It's a fantastic community. I mean, if there's anybody watching, and it doesn't matter what watch you've got on your wrist, if you're interested in watches, you know, get on here, you know, get on the chats, get on the Discord, get on the get on the social media platform and get in touch. And you know, it's 24/7. There's always someone to talk to.
Yeah.
There's no hate. It's all watch
all
lovers,
love.
And it's
love.
a special plot. It's a special place for all of us, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Agreed.
And I think take care of yourself, Clam.
Thank you.
Take
guys.
care, Clam.
Yeah, take care, Clam. Great to see you.
So much appreciation.
Our pleasure.
I think that's why when you've got your true enthusiasts, and I think whenever there is any trolls, if there's any hate or anything like that, I think other people have each other's backs, and I think they sort of stand the corner.
Mm-hmm.
And it's good to see.
I've just got James putting in the private chat that he's dropped out again. He's so if you just want to post links so he can say goodbye.
Yeah, good catch there, Thomas.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize I wasn't even looking at the chat in the
Don't
private
forget,
chat.
everyone, if you enjoyed the stream, please give us a thumbs up. That'd be greatly appreciated. And subscribe if you haven't done already.
Yes.
Well, listen, guys. What I'd like to do is if I'll do a live stream sometime, and if we can get all four, you know, well, everyone on, and the topic will be solely to promote Flippin's channel, because my channel's only small, very, very small, as you know, 2,500 subscribers. It's, you know, there's
more than this.
Nothing.
Yeah, that's way more than ours.
That's about 2,000 more than this.
but what it has got is, I'm very, very lucky that there's very little trolls on there. It tends to be genuine watch people, and I do get some emails and genuine questions. And what I'd like to do is, if we can do like a promotion of this and direct those people to here, because I think the people that subscribe to mine would really enjoy what goes on here, because they are genuine enthusiasts. I mean, I know some of the YouTube channels just gets trolls and they just get the haters. Mm-hmm. Thankfully, my channel's kept away from most of that, and anyone that has, I've just kicked off. You know, I don't need that. Mm-hmm. So I think that'd be cool if we could do like a promo. I do try at the end of every live stream to try and plug the channel.
No, you do. We appreciate it, James.
Yeah, we appreciate it, James. Thank
you very much. And please watch Showcase Watches as well. He's got an excellent channel. And but I mean, I love coming on your show, James. So anytime.
Well, it's why when I've seen you on Archie on your own, I thought I've got to go on there and support the guy, because it's just a nightmare. But,
I'm back, guys.
Yeah, James.
James, hey.
Thank you again. We can't thank you enough for giving your time, and once again, just for your kindness, for your generosity, for your love of the community. We thank you, just on behalf of everybody.
Guys, it's a pleasure. Happy to come on anytime.
And James, just as a personal one, I just want to say thank you to both you and Megan for looking into. I know Megan's looking into the, as you know, I'm looking at a 321. Speedmaster, so thank you very much for looking into that, and thanks to Megan for it as well, because if the right watch comes up on the as a vintage, I will purchase the vintage over the Ed White, but just see what you come up with. But
yeah,
thank you for that.
I'll follow it up and see what comes up. And
Yeah, thank you.
obviously, it's very important to follow the provenance and all those various other factors. Make sure you don't get the wrong end of a deal.
Yeah. Well, if, at the end of the day, if you or Megan tell me that a watch is right or a dealer is right,
yeah, we have
then,
to get certified by somebody who's really in the know.
Yeah. So no, thank you for that.
Well, guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you guys for looking after my daughter while I've been unwell. I really appreciate it.
Oh, the pleasure's all ours, James.
Yes, thank you so much, James.
Yeah.
Can't thank you enough.
I guess
You're welcome
I'll be
every time.
speaking to you all very soon anyway.
Yeah, that'd be great.
That's awesome.
Been an absolute joy to have you on.
Yeah, genuine pleasure.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, guys. It's been
Take care and have a good rest. Have
Exactly.
a good sleep tonight.
Take care, everybody in the chat. Thank you, James.
Take care. Yeah.
Flippin', Thomas. Thank you.
Take it easy, everybody. Take it easy.
See you later.
Big love, everyone.
Night. Bye.
Take care.
Bye-bye.